Chapter 1. General 001, you have once again completed the mission of annihilating the demonic beasts. The Marshal hereby rewards you. On planet Araga, General 001, who had always maintained the #1 position in foreign warfare in recent years, stood in the planet's projector and listened to a mechanical voice commenting on her mission. Yes, 001 obeys. General 001 nodded slightly in salute and received the items it had sent out. Her voice and expression were as cold and emotionless as the machine just now. However, when she saw the content clearly, her expressionless face showed a rare look of surprise. Her voice, which had been firm and decisive in giving orders during the battle, actually became uncertain at this time. Reward 001, a journey of the 7 emotions and 6 desires on Earth. What does that mean? 001 asked in confusion. However, the machine's voice remained flat. Respected General, I do not know. This is the Marshal's order. After saying that, it disappeared. After all, it had done what the Marshal had instructed it to do. Don't you understand? It was General 001's companion Error who spoke. Everyone on planet Araga was born with a companion artifact. They had deep feelings for each other and would accompany each other for the rest of their lives. He nodded, his eyes filled with confusion. Your combat ability is already the strongest in Aragar, but on the contrary your intelligence is the opposite. The intelligence of Aragar people is generally less than 1/10 of that of Earthlings. The Marshal hopes that you can go to Earth and learn well. Moreover, a qualified strongest warrior is not a killing machine. He hopes that you can have feelings. Earthlings are the most emotional creatures. 001 was the best soldier. She would do her best to complete the tasks assigned by the Marshal, and this time was no exception. Although 001 thought that this was the weirdest and most confusing task she had ever received, all she had to do in the past was to annihilate the demons that invaded Araga. The Aragas were all brawn and no brains. They could not be compared to the cunning Earthlings. However, 001 in the end, she still accepted it solemnly, just like she always did when she shouldered a mission. 001 landed on Earth with her companion, the Error. She knew nothing about Earth. Quickly go invisible. The companion Error shouted at the moment 001 was about to land on her. 001 trusted its judgment, so she immediately opened a protective shield to protect herself, and at the same time, made it so that no one could see her. After 001 stood firm, she suddenly felt embarrassed, although she didn't know this emotion. She was glad that she had listened to Error. Otherwise she was afraid that she would cause panic among the people on Earth. Because in the eyes of 001, the people on Earth were too small, not even the size of her finger. 001 looked down and saw a group of small insects crawling under her feet. The Araga's body size is too different from Earthlings. You have to shrink. 001 also realized that she couldn't live on Earth with her original body. However, this ratio seemed to be 1 in 1,000, and the strength of 001 would also decrease with the size of the body. But Error, if I become so weak on Earth, won't it be dangerous? The Earthlings have developed brains, but their bodies are very weak. 1,000th of your strength is enough to deal with them. Hearing Error's words, 001 was relieved. When she became the same size as an Earthling, she removed the protective shield and looked at the planet with a curious gaze. Don't worry. I have already collected all the information on Earth. I can show it to you slowly. Now, figure out the mission requirements. As soon as they arrived on Earth, the Error automatically received the information. This should be set up by the Marshal. Many worlds on this planet have problems. We need to maintain and repair them. During this process, it will be the perfect time for you to experience the 7 emotions and 6 desires. 001? The companion Error said this, but with 001's brain she couldn't understand it at all. Then, let's take the world we arrived in today as an example. You will understand. Lin Wanting has had a crush on Li Mo since high school, the handsome young man in the white shirt sitting in front of her. His wise and clear eyes fell on the blackboard, listening attentively to the lesson, his cold and serious eyes solving problems, his slender white fingers on the desk holding an exercise book. All of these made Lin Wanting deeply fascinated with him. Lin Wanting came from a family of scholars. Her mother worked in the education bureau, and her father was a calligrapher. She had a strong scholarly aura since she was a child. She was also gentle and reserved, and her appearance was beautiful and graceful. How could a girl like her easily express her feelings, not to mention at such an important moment in high school? She could only silently watch the boy sitting in front of her every day, carefully guarding this happiness. However, this balance was soon broken by a transfer student, Sun Jiaoyang. She was a passionate and lively young lady from a rich family, and her appearance was also bright and moving. From the first day of the transfer, she fell in love with Li Mo. She confessed to him in front of the whole class, saying that she would definitely pursue him. At the time, Sun Jiaoyang's actions were extremely rebellious and bold. She was almost labeled as a bad student and a bad girl. However, Sun Jiaoyang's father was the boss of the largest group in the area. Because Sun Jiaoyang lost her mother when she was young, he spoiled her very much and would not give her anything she wanted. He didn't care about such a small matter at all. He even praised his daughter for having character and courage. Furthermore, after Sun Jiaoyang transferred, she became the biggest sponsor of the high school. The school could only turn a blind eye to Sun Jiaoyang's actions. From then on, Sun Jiaoyang became Li Mo's deskmate. She began to pester and pursue him every day. In the beginning, Li Mo did not react to Sun Jiaoyang's confession, which made Lin Wanting feel slightly at ease. However, at the same time, she envied and admired Sun Jiaoyang for being able to be so bold and express her feelings without caring about others' opinions. Lin Wanting couldn't do that, which made her heart sour. Moreover, as Sun Jiaoyang pursued Li Mo step by step, it made Lin Wanting even more nervous. This was because Li Mo had treated Sun Jiaoyang as nothing in the beginning. However, later on, Man no longer rejected her. In fact, he even accepted her and tolerated her. Lin Wanting has been secretly watching Li Mo for so long. She knows his reaction like the back of her hand, which makes her even more shocked. But apart from the bitterness in her heart and crying behind her back, there was nothing she could do. She could only bury her feelings in the bottom of her heart. Sun Jiaoyang was like a small sun that collided with Li Mo, unafraid of his coldness and disregard. With such a sincere intention placed in front of him, and with her pursuing him so passionately, it's normal for Li Mo to be moved. Sun Jiaoyang's results are not good, but she is talented. She is outstanding in singing, dancing and playing the piano. Li Mo is the class representative, Lin Wanting is the study representative, and Sun Jiaoyang is the recreation representative. In order to pursue Li Mo, Sun Jiaoyang tried her best to get close to him. Because his results were always the top in the class, she found excuses to ask him to tutor her. In fact, Sun Jiaoyang hated studying the most, but for the sake of Li Mo, her results kept improving. In the end, Sun Jiaoyang and Li Mo dated, and they became a couple that everyone in the class admired. Girls knew girls best. Sun Jiaoyang could see Lin Wanting's feelings for Li Mo, so she had always rejected her. Ever since Li Mo and Sun Jiaoyang dated, Lin Wanting was very disappointed and sad. But since it had become a reality, Lin Wanting learned to let it go and hid her feelings even more tightly. However, after they graduated from high school, Li Mo broke up with Sun Jiaoyang. This relationship was initiated by Sun Jiaoyang, and she was the one who pursued Li Mo. She felt that she had sacrificed more in this relationship. Sun Jiaoyang was originally a pampered young lady. If she did not really like Li Mo, how could she put down her pride in front of him? Before she pursued Li Mo, Sun Jiaoyang only wanted him to accept her. But after dating Li Mo and becoming his girlfriend, Sun Jiaoyang was not satisfied. She desired more. She felt that Li Mo was not warm enough to her, not as much as she liked him. Moreover, Sun Jiaoyang had a childhood sweetheart, Qian Tian, who was deeply in love with her. He was also secretly sowing discord between them. Sun Jiaoyang was disappointed with Li Mo, so she sent him a message to break up and went abroad to study with Qian Tian. Li Mo suffered a great blow because of Sun Jiaoyang, and became more cold and unpredictable than before. Chapter 2. Since Li Mo didn't have a girlfriend now, and they were in the same university, did it mean that her chance had come? Lin Wanting still liked Li Mo silently as she did in high school, watching him suffer and torture himself for Sun Jiaoyang. Lin Wanting silently guarded Li Mo, and after graduation she specially went to work in his company. Almost everyone could see that Lin Wanting liked Li Mo, but she had never confessed to Li Mo. If she didn't say it herself, others wouldn't deliberately make it difficult for her. Such a gentle and introverted girl, everyone had a good impression of her. Perhaps Li Mo later understood Lin Wanting's feelings, but he didn't say it and just silently alienated Lin Wanting. Lin Wanting was a smart girl, she should be able to understand Li Mo's meaning. This kind of thing Lin Wanting didn't say clearly. If she really made it clear, both sides would be embarrassed. After Sun Jiaoyang left, Lin Wanting stayed by Li Mo's side for 6 years, always as a close friend. Later, when Sun Jiaoyang returned to China, she and Li Mo rekindled their old love. This made Lin wanting very painful, but seeing Liam happy she also wished them well and then left alone, regretting it for the rest of her life. You said so much, what's the problem? 001 asked puzzledly. Error? I knew you didn't understand. The person who has a problem in this world is Lin wanting, I quit. What? Error, although it's a good habit to ask when you don't understand, but you really have too many whys. Error gritted his teeth and said to 001, and then he explained to 001, no, it should be said to be the solitary roar of an earth woman. Idiot, 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 I'm AF asterisk king big idiot. Hearing this, 001 and Error were shocked. Lady Lin wanting came from a scholarly family. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that she was the daughter of a respectable family. Looking at 001 who was as quiet as a chicken, Error gulped and said, perhaps this is what it means to not perish in silence, but to explode in silence. After hearing Error's words, 001 immediately looked at him with admiration. Error, you're amazing. You've just come to Earth but you already know so much. Error raised his tail and said, it's nothing, I just happen to be a little smarter than you. 001 nodded. She had no objection to this. Then, the beautiful lady in the video continued to stomp her feet, her ferocious expression ruining her tranquil and scholarly aura. Liam didn't flirt with me and he didn't give me any wrong hints. On the contrary, he really didn't give me any chance at all. Of course he's not a scumbag. I have no problem with him, even my rival in love, Sun Jiaoyang. I just hate iron for not being steel. Would it kill you to F asterisk king tell him your feelings for him openly? Obviously you met Liam first and fell in love with him first, but you didn't dare to say it and others dared to say it. You just watched them show off their love all day long. Well, they finally broke up. I didn't expect that I was such a coward. I just stayed quietly with the person I liked for 6 years, and then watched them reunite and fall in love. I really didn't use any strength to pry him away. Even if you're a guardian you should at least do something for Liam. In the end I really did nothing but like him. Otherwise, even if she didn't say that she liked him, she had done so much for Liam in secret for 6 years. How could he not be touched? If she confessed at this time, even if he didn't like her and was willing to date her, there was a good chance that they could go out together. In the end she really didn't seize the chance at all. In this case, how could she have the face to regret it for the rest of her life? It was obvious that she didn't do her best. Otherwise, if she did her best for the person she liked, it would be a beautiful memory when she was old, not a regret. Moreover, Lin wanting didn't expect that she would regret it for the rest of her life. If she really liked Liam that much, it would have been better if she had tried all ways to get him when she was young. In short, Lin wanting didn't want to face a fool like herself, so she quit, and then the world went out of control. 001 felt that Lin wanting's grating and swearing was too ugly, even though she was such a beautiful person. Everyone has a different way of liking someone. You shouldn't insult yourself like that. Although I don't understand feelings, I also know that Ms. Lin's self-control and waiting was very beautiful when she was young. No matter, you don't have to say more. In short, I seem to have activated some kind of mechanism, and I can no longer go back to the good old days. After that, Lin wanting disappeared, leaving 001 and Error looking at each other. What should we do, Error? Do you still remember our mission? Since she quit, then you have to replace her to maintain the plot of this world. At this time, 001 remembered the real reason why they came to Earth. It turned out that this was the mission. Do you understand? 2 asked 001 seriously. 001 nodded solemnly, took over the mission like in the past, and gave the highest Araga etiquette. I understand, I will complete it. Yes, we just do it according to Lin wanting. This shouldn't be difficult. Both 001 and its companion vessel were very confident in themselves. After all, they had completed every mission on planet Araga with the best results. At this time, it is already the summer vacation after Lin wanting and the others graduated from high school. Sun Jiaoyang has already gone abroad. 001 was surprised. It seems that Ms. Lin just feels that the next 6 years are unbearable. You are so good, you actually used an idiom correctly. Error's praise made 001 proudly stick out his chest. This is nothing, I can't be proud, I still need to work hard. I detected that there is a mission that Ms. Lin should do tonight. It is time for us to go. What is it? 001 asked curiously. It's Ms. Lin. She should have found Li Mo's whereabouts tonight. She followed him all the way to the bar and watched him from a distance. Are you saying that Ms. Lin followed a man and watched him for the whole night? For some reason, 001 his tone became a little subtle. Not all night. After Liamo went home after drinking, Ms. Lin watched him go home and left. It turns out that the females on Earth are also so powerful. 001 couldn't help but murmur. She thought of a fugitive she had chased on planet Araga. She had followed several men and then killed them. Those men hid in the corner and cried. Later, when he caught the criminal, they walked out of the shadow. However, later on they liked to come to see her every time. They said that looking at her made them feel at ease. 001 didn't understand at all. 001 felt that Ms. Lin had a lot of criminal potential. No wonder she later became like the one in the video. However, just like what Tutu said, it was just following a man, watching him and then sending him home. Such a task was indeed a piece of cake for 001. Therefore, 001 and Error set off for the bar confidently. At this time, Liamo had already arrived at the bar. They could only start from the next part of the plot. On the edge of the bar sat a male. He was between a boy and a man on Earth. He was young and mature with a unique beauty. 001 understood the aesthetics of the Earth. Although the people on Earth were ugly in the eyes of the Araga people, she knew that Liamo was an outstanding male in the eyes of the people on Earth. Because 001 detected that the magnetism around Liamo was diverting their hormones towards him. There had never been a teenager who looked better than Liamo in a white shirt. Such a person was between a boy and a man. His clean and refreshing aura was out of place in this bar, but it was as attractive as a poppy. 001 stood not far behind Liamo, staring at him motionlessly. I think this is very strange. The perverts on Earth seem to be like this too. Error searched for the introduction of the perverts on Earth. It was silent for a moment. It seemed to be true. For the sake of the mission, I have wronged you. Error sighed. They were the generals of planet Araga, not the perverts on Earth. Even so, when it came to completing the mission, 001 was the most responsible. However, at this time, a drunkard suddenly took a bottle and threw it at Liamo. Chapter 3. Roger that. 001 responded sternly and quickly rushed forward. The beautiful and graceful girl suddenly rushed out and stood in front of the drunk man who was lying on the bar counter. This kind of weakness and the drunkard's toughness were about to cause a bloodbath. It was too late for the drunk man to withdraw the bottle that he had raised, and it hit 001 on the head. Glass shards fell from her body without leaving a trace. It was like hitting a stone with an egg. Of course, the egg was the bottle and the stone was 001. 001 blinked her eyes. She was very confused as to why this kind of thing could be life-threatening to the people on Earth. 001 calmly reached out and removed the broken glass from her head and body, but she was unscathed. The drunkard was shocked awake. How is this possible? His lips trembled and he looked at 001 as if he was looking at a monster. 001 also noticed the abnormality at this time. It turned out that the physical fitness of the people on Earth was so different from that of planet Araga. She should have thought of this long ago. At this time, the idea that Earthlings were weak and needed to be taken good care of, or they would die easily, had been deeply rooted in the mind of 001. Error, what if someone finds out? Even if 001 was not smart, it was the most basic thing to do not expose her identity during the mission. Don't worry. I have deleted all their memories. They won't find anything unusual. 001 was relieved and walked toward Liamo. The people of Araga did not have a specific face, they only had a huge shape. Therefore, since the mission this time was to replace Lin Wanting, 001 scanned her behavior pattern and appearance. It was not difficult to complete an external copy. Liamo was drunk and unconscious, which was different from what Lin Wanting remembered. But 001 and Era thought it was not a big deal. After all, they saved Liamo's life. Their next task was to send Liamo home. Since Liamo could no longer leave, 001 directly picked Liamo up and walked out of the bar. With Lin Wanting's memory, both 001 and Era knew where Liamo's home was. They walked directly to his door. They were not familiar with the business of driving a car. How could the warriors of planet Araga walk more than 10 kilometers? At the door of Liamo's house, 001 rang the doorbell. This was what she learned from Lin Wanting's memory. Human civilization was indeed advanced. 001 helped Liamo down and waited for the people inside to come out and open the door. The person who came out was Liamo's mother. Liamo and Lin Wanting's family backgrounds were similar. His father is a college professor. Mother is also a teacher. As a child, Liamo had been nurtured by his parents. She was introverted and outstanding. She was completely different from the environment that Sun Jiayang grew up in. Perhaps that was why he was attracted to her. Liemo had been their pride since he was a child. He had never let them worry about him. Although they were worried about Liemo's relationship in high school, Liemo had always been obedient. They were also afraid that it was the child's belated rebellious period, so they did not dare to say anything. Fortunately, Liemo was a good child. Even when he was in love, his grades had never dropped. This made them feel relieved. How could they not know their own son? He would never mess around. Since he was in love with a girl in high school, he must be serious. They all wanted to wait for the end of the college entrance examination to meet their parents. However, they did not expect that after the college entrance examination, they would break up. The girl just went abroad without saying a word. Seeing their son go out to get drunk almost every night for a month, causing them to worry about him, it wasn't like they didn't have any complaints towards Sun Jiaoyang. At this time, when Liemo's mother saw her son being sent back by a girl, her mood was a little complicated. Lin Wanting's appearance was very advantageous, and her scholarly aura was also very good. Otherwise, when Sun Jiaoyang knew that Lin Wanting liked Liemo, he would not have felt a sense of crisis and rejected her so much. Lin Wanting's temperament was unique. She had a very elegant classical beauty. For Liemo's mother, who was engaged in the education industry, she undoubtedly had a good first impression of such a girl. You are. Liemo's mother looked at 001 in surprise and asked. After all, it was hard not to think too much in the middle of the night, but 001 was a person who never thought too much. Hello, Andy, I am Liemo's classmate. I saw him drunk in the bar, so I sent him back. There was nothing wrong with 001's words, but Liemo's mother was also a young girl. What's more, her work often let her come into contact with girls. Liemo's mother was silent and took over her son. She could see that the girl in front of her should have some feelings for her son. Not good, the lady in front of you thinks that Lin Wanting likes Liemo. 001 was shocked. She did not forget that Ms. Lin was secretly in love with Qin Haodong, and she could not let anyone know. Otherwise, wouldn't it mean that she had destroyed the original track and her task would fail? Therefore 001 immediately denied righteously, "No, you misunderstood. I don't like Liemo." Seeing that Liemo's mother still did not speak, 001 emphasized again, "I really don't like him." Hearing this, Liemo's mother's expression became more complicated. She looked at 001 and nodded gently, "Okay, child, I understand." Thinking that the matter had been solved, 001 asked Liemo's mother, "Please don't tell him that I sent him back." 001 thought that Liemo did not know that Lin Wanting followed him, so she naturally could not let him know. 001 felt that maybe she had misunderstood Ms. Lin before. She was not a stalker, she just wanted to protect her sweetheart. There was a special term on the earth to describe this kind of behavior, flower protector. However, that was done by a male to a female. What about a female to a male? Then it should be the flower protector. Both 001 and Era felt that there was no problem with this logic. Not only that, but the two of them were also proud at this moment. You watched Liemo in the bar and then sent him home. Very good. What Lin Wanting did tonight you have done very well. You really deserve to be called E. In the face of Era's praise, 001 tried not to smile. You flatter me, Era. I still have a lot to do. I can't be proud. I have to keep it up and keep working hard. Liemo's mother supported her son and looked at the back of 001. She could not help but sigh, what a silly girl. She had done so much for her son behind his back without asking for anything in return. Seeing that she was so familiar with it, it should not be the first time. In fact, Mama Li misunderstood. In the past, Liemo came back by himself, and Lin Wanting just followed behind him. Mama Li looked at her drunk son and felt even more helpless. Son, there is a silly girl who secretly likes you so much. Why don't you cheer up? Liemo was a very good man who combined self-discipline and loss of control. Although he went to the bar every night to get drunk, he never missed his homework in the day's cram school. Although both Liemo and Lin Wanting had been admitted to the best universities, they still had to make up for their future studies during the summer. Originally, Liemo planned to go on a graduation trip with Sun Jiaoyang, but now he could only focus on his studies. And Lin Wanting naturally inquired about where Liemo was studying, and they were in the same class. Lin Wanting always tried to make herself and Liemo see each other in the same place, but other than that, she would not take the initiative to do anything else. Just like in high school, Lin Wanting sat behind Liemo. What should a person who has a crush do? 001 had no feelings, so she naturally did not know how a girl who had a crush should face the boy she had a crush on. Even if she copied everything Lin Wanting did, it was just a form of external expression. Don't worry, I have already searched the information on the earth. Chapter 4. 1. Sticks close to the person she likes. 2. Cares about every word he says. 3. Always wants to have physical contact with him. 4. Will try to divert his attention when he is looking at a beauty. 5. Always wants to know more secrets about him. 6. Always uses incomprehensible reasons to meet him. 7. Always wants to occupy his time even if it is just for a second. 8. Always finds excuses to ask him to do things for her. 9. Always asks about him. 10. Likes to give him personal gifts. After reading these out, Error asked, do you remember all of them? She nodded solemnly. She didn't expect there to be so much knowledge in this kind of thing on Earth. And you have to remember that Ms. Lin has a crush on Liam Mo, so we must not let others know that she likes him. Don't worry, I understand. I will do as you say, but I will never admit that I like Liam Mo. Yes, you've become smarter after coming to Earth. It's really a good place. Therefore, in the cram school, Liam Mo felt that the back of his head was on fire. 001 just did what Lin Wanting did before, staring at Liam Mo obviously. The way a shy and introverted woman looked at her sweetheart was different from the way 001 stared at him, but 001 couldn't feel the difference. Liam Mo couldn't ignore 001's gaze, so he turned to look at 001 and asked, "What's the matter, classmate Lin?" "Nothing," 001 said without hesitation. Then she thought for a moment she had to emphasize one thing, so she quickly said, "I don't like you." Liam Mo was speechless. Liam Mo looked at 001's eyes, and his expression became complicated. 001 didn't know that there was such a thing in this world as trying to cover up something only made it more obvious. Liam Mo had never been a person who paid too much attention to girls. Except for his former girlfriend, Sun Jiaoyang, this was the only one he knew more about. Even though Lin Wanting had been sitting behind him the whole time, neither of them were very talkative people, so they didn't talk much. Li Mo's impression of Lin Wanting was that she had a good personality and good grades. She had a good relationship with her classmates. He often heard others talking about her, but Liam Mo did not care. But looking at Lin Wanting like this, Liam Mo suddenly remembered what his mother said to him this morning. "Mo, a cute and pretty girl sent you back last night, but I promised her that I wouldn't tell her. You are so smart. You should be able to figure it out, right?" Mama Li looked at Liam Mo and said meaningfully. Liam Mo was stunned. Why would he think of Lin Wanting? With her personality, how could she possibly go to a bar? Even just now, Liam Mo felt that he seemed to have sensed that she had different feelings for him, but he did not suspect her. However, this left a mark in Liam Mo's heart. Liam Mo pursed his lips and turned around. On the other hand, 001 and 22 heaved a sigh of relief. They even felt that they were very smart. I have to look at you with new eyes. You did a good job. It seems that we can complete the task well. 001 nodded and said happily, "Yes, it looks easier than I thought." When the class was over, Liam Mo and several of his friends were talking about entrepreneurship. 001 still stood not far away and stared straight at him. Her eyes couldn't be ignored. Liam Mo's friends all patted him on the shoulder jokingly. The meaning was self-evident. 001's situation made them all think that Lin Wanting liked Liam Mo. Liam Mo frowned. He didn't like them to treat their feelings in such a frivolous way. But Liam Mo knew that they didn't mean any harm, so he didn't say much. But Liam Mo's mind was troubled because of a girl other than Sun Jiaoyang, which was rare. Lin Wanting didn't confess to him, so he could ignore her and keep a distance from her. But Liam Mo felt that it was too difficult to ignore someone like Lin Wanting, because her love for him was too obvious. Later, when Liam Mo went to the toilet, Lin Wanting was still behind him, which really made Liam Mo unable to bear it. Why did Liam Mo know that the person behind him was Lin Wanting without turning around? That was because he had become familiar with her gaze. How scary was that? Liam Mo was a cold person, although it made his handsome face more charming. He often dressed simply, and his black and white was a classic combination. Liam Mo was indeed a veritable flower on a high mountain. He was far more mature and calm than his peers, except when he faced Sun Jiaoyang occasionally with a faint smile like the blooming flowers in spring. This kind of Liam Mo was very rational. He almost never lost his composure for anything, except when Sun Jiaoyang left him. However, at this time, Liam Mo's face was very bad, almost showing anger. "What on earth do you want to do?" Liam Mo almost said to Lin Wanting through gritted teeth. Liam Mo grabbed Lin Wanting and restrained her against the wall of the corridor. Liam Mo was very careful not to use too much strength, not to hurt Lin Wanting, and not to let himself touch her too much. Almost at the moment when Liemo moved, 001 reacted. She instinctively wanted to throw Liemo away. However, at this time, 001 thought of the weak body of an earthling. If she really resisted, it was estimated that Liemo would become a mass of meat sauce. 001 thought that with the attack power of an earthling, it would not cause any harm to her body, so she let it go. Liemo's angry eyes met 001's clear and clean eyes. There was no emotion in them, not even surprise or shyness. On the surface, 001 still looked as gentle and calm as Lin Wanting usually, which was the form that 001 most often imitated. Looking at 001 like this, Liemo's mood calmed down, and he realized that he was impulsive. He would not usually be like this. This was not like his usual self. It was really Lin Wanting's eyes that made him panic. In the past he would not care about other people's opinions, but Lin Wanting was simply different from others. After hearing Liemo's question, 001 was slightly stunned. This was not what she had expected. But she quickly reacted and replied, "I'm looking at you." Lin Wanting's voice was as soft as ever, and even her face was very gentle, but it made Liemo feel helpless. However, suddenly Liemo's expression froze. He was close to Lin Wanting, and he could clearly smell the fragrance on her body, which he had just smelled last night. Although Liemo was drunk and unconscious at that time, he could feel that he had fallen into a fragrant embrace. It smelled very good, which made him more relaxed and fall asleep. Even now, Liemo could still remember the faint fragrance that lingered at the tip of his nose. Thus, when his mother said those words, he felt an indescribable strangeness in his heart. At this time, Liemo looked at 001 in surprise and doubt. Was the person who sent him back last night really her? Liemo directly asked 001, "Did you send me home last night?" 001's eyes widened uncontrollably. How could he know that? However, she quickly retorted, "It wasn't me." However, Liemo, who had been paying attention to 001, had already seen her expression just now. He already knew in his heart. Liemo quickly let go of 001. He turned around and did not look at her. He said lightly, "Stop following me." After all, Lin Wanting had not confessed to him, so Liemo could not refuse her. But he thought that with Lin Wanting's temperament, she will not come to him again in the future if he treats her so coldly. Although 001 really wanted to complete the task since Liemo said so, she would go back. After all, 001 always remembered that she was secretly in love with him. Since Liemo had discovered it, there was no need to continue. 001 simply turned around and left, which made Liemo unable to react for a while. Chapter 5. 001 and Error were checking the results of their day's tasks. It was still the secret love handbook that Error found for her. Always liked to stick to each other. 001 felt that she had done a good job following Liemo, care about every word he said. Liemo told her to leave and she left obediently. However, she still needed to continue to work hard on the remaining 8 points, and she had to follow the previous 2 points. "Not bad, I didn't expect you to be so perceptive. Keep up the good work like before." After being encouraged by Error, 001 became more confident in herself. The cram school emphasized a balance between work and rest, not to mention that this was indeed a special class. The students in this class should not only have good academic performance, but also develop in an all-round way. Therefore, the teacher organized an outing for the cram school, and the students had to bring their own materials, cook, build a sleeping shed, and so on. Although 001 did not understand any common sense on the Earth, the people on planet Araga originally had the most powerful receiver and data processing center. As for the academic questions, 001 only needed to scan and analyze them, and the answers would come out. Therefore, 001's results were better than the previous results of Lin Wanting, and it was faintly close to Liemo's, which made Liemo could not help but look at her. He did not know why, but he suddenly thought of a sentence, turning the lovelorn into strength. Liemo was not a person who liked to think too much, but Lin Wanting's recent behavior made him think more. 001 felt that always want to have physical contact with the other party, and divert the other party's attention when looking at a beautiful woman, these 2 points could be skipped. Because Lin Wanting was too shy, it was impossible for him to have physical contact with Liemo, and Liemo was not a person who looked at beautiful women. So, 001 began to implement the 5th point, always want to know the other party's secrets. She had to investigate this secretly, after all Lin Wanting could not ask openly. Of course, 001 felt that observation was the most effective way to collect information, just like how she fought in the past. To understand one's sweetheart, it was nothing more than his preferences and habits, which Error told 001 from Baidu. Therefore, from the moment Liemo stepped into the campus, 001 boldly fell on him with hot eyes. She also took out a small notebook and a pen to write down, "Today is still a white shirt and trousers." After several days of observation, 001 had discovered Liemo's style of dressing. She wrote a note on the side, "This can be used as a reference to send gifts to Liemo in the future." But 001 thought of the 10th point in the Secret Love Handbook, the gift should be close to the body. This doesn't seem to be close enough. 001 glanced at Liemo's lower body. She immediately scanned Liemo's body data, analyzed his model and wrote it down. This way it would be easier to send him underwear in the future. Liemo suddenly felt a chill run down his spine, but he couldn't tell what it was. He still felt that Lin Wanting's eyes made him feel cold. It seemed that since the college entrance examination she had put down some burden. In Liemo's eyes, Lin Wanting was still gentle and introverted. She would not announce her love as enthusiastically and boldly as Sun Jiaoyang. However, Liemo thought of Lin Wanting's bright eyes staring at him, but she firmly denied it, which really made him feel a little complicated. Lin Wanting showed that she liked him in action, but she did not say it, which was the opposite of Sun Jiaoyang. Even when eating in the canteen, Lin Wanting sat not far away from him and stared at him. She looked at him while eating, which made Liemo have an illusion that he was the food on her plate. Liemo's friends did not have time to make fun of him. Being stared at so intensely when eating, they all felt uncomfortable. 001 quickly stored all the information in her mind. She remembered all the food that Liemo liked to eat. After eating, Liemo could not help but stop Lin Wanting. Yes, this young lady never came up to talk to him. It seemed that she did not disturb his life at all, except for her figure everywhere and her eyes on him all the time. Lin Wanting came and left quietly, but Liemo could not ignore her. He could not bear it, so he stopped her. "Lin Wanting, what are you doing?" Liemo's tone became impolite. Although he had a cold temperament, he would never be rude to girls. It seemed that he was really forced by 001. "Of course." 001 answered naturally. She did not understand why Liemo asked such an obvious question. Didn't he even know this? Liemo felt powerless again. He gritted his teeth and asked directly, "Why do you always appear beside me and keep looking at me?" Liemo was not a person who would embarrass girls. He had always saved Lin Wanting's face, but now he could not stand it anymore, so he pointed it out directly. 001 was stunned. She was discovered again. 001 did not deliberately conceal her aura. Originally she was now filling the gap of Lin Wanting. Of course she could not do this. If she was discovered again there was no need to continue. "Because I want to be here, I want to look at you." "Well, now I have to leave." 001 nodded to Liemo, turned around and left as elegantly as ever. Liemo was speechless. Every time he was ready to face a storm, but Lin Wanting just left like this. Although Liemo wouldn't get entangled with a girl, he rejected her without any hesitation, not giving her any hope at all. But if he made others sad, he would not feel good in his heart, especially when Lin Wanting was so obvious and sincere. Thinking of what Lin Wanting had done for him secretly, he did owe her. He would try his best to repay her, but Liemo did not want to hurt her by giving her false hope. Therefore Liemo took a deep breath. He was mentally prepared to face all this. However, Lin Wanting was exposed by him. She did not seem to be ashamed at all. She played it down as if he was making a fuss over nothing. This made Liemo feel at a loss for what to do. He felt a rare sense of defeat. Soon it was the day of the outing. The heavier equipment was carried by the boys, and the girls only needed to carry some dishes. Lin Wanting was a pampered girl who did not do housework. She did not know how to cook at all. After scanning the tutorial, 001 actually knew how to cook, but she did not want to do it. Therefore, 001 helped the other girls while the boys went to find firewood. In order to train them, they specially used such a primitive method. Lin Wanting's appearance was very confusing. She looked like an elegant and beautiful girl who was well taken care of, and there were several boys secretly taking care of her. Recently, because of all kinds of things, Liemo could not help but pay attention to Lin Wanting. This time she did not look at herself because if she was assigned a task, 001 would complete it seriously. "Be careful." Seeing that there was a piece of slippery stone under Lin Wanting's feet, Liemo quickly shouted. With 001's physical fitness, there was naturally no problem, but she did not use it because she saw Liemo's hand reaching towards her. Achieve physical contact square root. 001 secretly praised herself for being smart and quick-witted. Li Mo grabbed Lin, wanting to prevent her from falling, and he carefully supported her. With a fragrant soft body, she suddenly threw herself into Li Mo's arms, which made Li Mo a little uncomfortable. In fact, even his ex-girlfriend Sun Jiayoung, Li Mo was rarely close to her. This was related to his dislike of intimate physical contact, and it was indeed because he did not like Sun Jiayoung enough. Sun Jiayoung's perseverance had moved Li Mo. He truly loved her, and that was why he was in so much pain after losing her. But in addition, there were other reasons why a teenager at this age was frustrated. It was not just because he lost the person he liked. Li Mo himself was indifferent to the relationship between men and women, and he was indeed still thinking about his ex-girlfriend, so there was no one around him for the next 6 years. Because of the loss, it was more profound. Later, when he reunited with Sun Jiayoung after the old love was rekindled, he did like her more than before. Now, when Li Mo held Lin, wanting, thinking of that night, it made him feel uncomfortable all over. Chapter 6. 001 was faced with a difficult choice at this time. Should she continue to lean on Li Mo's arms? Or should she get up? Physical contact seemed to have been achieved, so there was no need to get any closer, right? However, when Li Mo saw that Lin Wanting was not moving and frowning, he thought that she was injured and feeling uncomfortable. "What's wrong with you? Did you sprain your ankle?" Li Mo's words startled 001. She nodded softly. That was good, lest she had to think of a reason. Lin Wanting did look very weak, and Li Mo did not doubt her. Therefore he carried 001 horizontally and walked to a stone on the side and put her down. This feeling was indeed very novel for 001. After all, she was the one who carried Li Mo like this last time. In the eyes of the planet Araga's general, Li Mo was a fragile creature that needed her to be careful and take care of. In the end, she was treated like this by him. Li Mo squatted down in front of 001. He reached out and gently held her ankle. Li Mo hesitated for a moment, but still reached out and began to help 001 take off her shoes. He explained to her, "Don't move, I'll help you take a look." Li Mo was not used to intimate actions with people, and he did not want to have any ambiguous behavior with girls that would cause misunderstandings. However, now that Lin Wanting was an injured classmate that needed help, it would be too cold-blooded for him to care about such things. 001 looked intently at Li Mo, who was squatting in front of her. She could only see that his eyes were a little gentle at this time. Li Mo did not have any distracting thoughts. He was only worried about her classmate, so he helped her take a look. Lin Wanting's foot was not seriously injured. When Li Mo relaxed, he felt a gaze that could not be ignored. This gaze was not as aggressive as when Lin Wanting looked at him before. This made Li Mo look up curiously. He happened to bump into 001's focused eyes, which were staring at him in a daze. Li Mo's heart involuntarily palpitated as if he was the only one in those clear black and white eyes. Li Mo suddenly lowered his head, as if he was deliberately avoiding something. "Your foot is fine. Let me help you up." With that, Li Mo put on 001's shoes and was about to help her up. 001 looked at him inquisitively. Just now, Li Mo's emotional fluctuations were a little strange. What? When he met Lin Wanting's puzzled gaze, Li Mo's heart skipped a beat. He avoided her gaze again. Li Mo did not look at 001 throughout the whole process. He helped her walk to the place where the students gathered. Many female students and even male students have prepared meals. 001 went over to help them. "Li Mo, this is delicious. Try it." Li Mo's friend picked up a piece of kung pao chicken with chopsticks and put it in his bowl. Li Mo's brows furrowed slightly. Before he could say anything, a pair of chopsticks snatched the food from his bowl. Under everyone's burning gaze, 001 said gently, "He can't eat spicy food." 001 calmly ate the food from Li Mo's bowl. She thought that she was really a good alagama. Although she would not have been injured without Li Mo, she should be grateful for others' help, so she should help him. Then, 001 smiled at Li Mo and reached out to pick up his favorite fried asparagus with chopsticks. There was no need to thank her. She did things without asking for anything in return. Li Mo looked at 001 with a complicated gaze again. Even the asparagus in his bowl seemed to taste different. Li Mo lowered his head in silence. Finally he picked up the asparagus and ate it. He couldn't accept this before, and it was impossible for him to eat it. Maybe it was because Lin Wanting shocked him so much that he forgot about it. Most of the students in the cram school were in the same class as Lin Wanting, and Li Mo, seeing this situation, they couldn't help but look at each other. They all knew that Liemo had an ex-girlfriend, Sun Jiaoyang, who went abroad, and Liemo couldn't forget her. Now their commissary in charge of studies was going to pursue Liemo. However, Lin Wanting was as gentle and considerate as ever. They couldn't help but envy Liemo's luck. 001 didn't take this matter to heart at all. She didn't even know what kind of ripples her actions had caused in other people's hearts. In the middle of the meal, Liemo suddenly remembered that Lin Wanting had just finished eating the food in his bowl and picked it up with those chopsticks. Then he ate it. Liemo's mind was full of this sentence and then he choked hard. This caused 001 to look at him sideways. She poured him a glass of water. Seeing this, other people teased Liemo ambiguously, and some even made a scene. This made Liemo choke even harder. 001 really didn't notice this embarrassing atmosphere. She reached out and patted Liemo on the back to calm him down. 001 couldn't help but sigh in her heart. Earth males were so fragile that they could hurt their bodies just by eating. It seemed that she had to be more careful with them in the future. Liemo's ears were already burning up uncontrollably. As soon as 001 got closer, he could smell the fragrance on her body. When he recalled the feeling of touching her just now, his cheeks began to heat up uncontrollably. Liemo had never felt so helpless before. He dodged 001 as if he was running away from something. At this time, Liemo suddenly had a feeling that since he met Lin Wanting during the summer vacation, his life began to get out of control, and he became different from himself. 001 didn't notice anything at all. She continued to eat happily and didn't notice that other people were looking at them more ambiguously. Liemo felt very uncomfortable in his heart, but he could only pretend that nothing had happened. Liemo still couldn't help but steal a glance at Lin Wanting. He found that this girl, who looked like a lady from a noble family, was indeed very silly sometimes or in love. After the meal, someone was assigned to wash the dishes. 001 and Liemo both went to set up tents. 001 had never done these things before, but as long as she searched for information she could copy it and do it. However, 001 was still very keen in these aspects. She compared the power that Lin Wanting should have and understood that she shouldn't be able to do these things alone. It happened that Liemo came to help the boy. Liemo stood beside 001 without saying a word. However, Liemo accidentally put his hand on 001's hand. Both of their movements stopped. 001 looked up at Liemo. Hey, why didn't he take it away? What was he waiting for? Should he take it away himself? However, Liemo's heart couldn't calm down again. He even couldn't help clenching it. After coming to his senses, Liemo realized what he had done, which made him turn his face away in embarrassment. He felt that he couldn't face Lin Wanting's eyes, but the smooth and soft touch was left in his heart. Liemo felt that he couldn't respond to what Lin Wanting wanted, but he made such an ambiguous move to her. It was his fault. Liemo took a deep breath and forced himself to calm down and take his hand away. He didn't turn his head. He didn't know what to say to Lin Wanting. Just as he said the word you, he heard the same voice beside him. Liemo stopped and pretended to be calm as he said, "You go first." But in fact, Liemo's heart was beating very fast at this time. He held his breath and listened to Lin Wanting's words. "Your shelf is going to fall apart." 001 quickly held it and said to Liemo. She didn't know why Liemo's mood suddenly became strange again. He didn't even care about the task. This once again confirmed in 001's heart that the males on Earth were strange creatures, and their minds were delicate and emotional. Liemo. He felt that his excitement and nervousness had been fed to a dog. Liemo pursed his lips and 001 blinked her eyes. He didn't seem to be in a good mood. Liemo continued to help 001 set up the tent in silence, but he didn't say a word again. Of course, 001 didn't care. It seemed that when Liemo left, his aura was a little gloomy. And he unconsciously looked back at 001, but 001 had a soft smile on his face, and his bright eyes were looking at the tent. He didn't look at him at all. Liemo. His face tensed up even more as he quickened his pace. At night, 001 was lying in the tent. She was a little excited and couldn't sleep. This was really a novel experience. However, Air suddenly shouted, Not good." Liemo went to the pool in the back mountain. 001 was puzzled and said, "What's wrong with that?" Although it was very strange to go to that place at night without sleeping. You don't know, many teenagers on Earth die in the water. And have you ever heard of suicide for love? Chapter 7. Life was so precious. People on planet Araga fought for survival on the battlefield every day, but the creatures on Earth did not cherish it. 001 ran over as fast as he could. He could not let anything happen to Liemo. Liemo could not sleep, so he went out for a walk at night. He walked to the pool at the back of the mountain. However, the culprit who made Liemo restless and unable to sleep was Lin Wanting, who was unaware of it. Liemo frowned. He did not know why he was thinking about women other than Sun Jiaoyang. Could it be that he was such a fickle man? Sun Jiaoyang had not left him for long, and he had already begun to pay attention to other women? However, Lin Wanting's every move made him feel helpless, and there was an indescribable feeling in his heart. Liemo really could not ignore it. Liemo's mind was in a mess. He sat down by the pool and threw stones into it. Recent events flashed before his eyes like a mess, making Liemo's mood worse and worse. Liemo simply took off his clothes and put them aside. He plunged into the water, trying to calm himself down. The most terrible thing was to lose one's rationality and calmness, and things would get worse and worse. At this time, 001 arrived. Hearing the sound of water, she sped up and shouted, "Liemo!" Liemo jumped out of the water instinctively, splashing water everywhere. He happened to meet 001's eyes on the shore. There was a dead silence. Liemo was completely stunned. He did not know how to react at all. 001 breathed a sigh of relief. Liemo was still alive. The night wind blew, making Liemo's body involuntarily shrink, which woke him up. Liemo suddenly realized what kind of state he was in. He was naked in the water, and Lin Wanting saw it all on the shore. Liemo's body was completely stiff, and his face was the same. He did not know how to react at all. Liemo had never encountered such a difficult situation in his life. He even felt that he was stupid to worry about those things just now. Compared with this, it was nothing. 001 doesn't know what Liemo is thinking. She looks at him motionless in the water. She looked at him motionlessly in the water and reached out to him. 001 smiled gently and said, "Liemo, let me pull you up." "Liemo." Liemo turned his head like a robot, making a squeaky sound. Liemo's eyes widened uncontrollably as if he had been startled. Such an expression had never appeared on Liemo's face before, and it was truly an eye-opener for others. But upon closer inspection, this added a childish air to Liemo's body, making him look rather cute. Why was she just standing there and watching? Could it be that she was not frightened and would not scream in panic? Surprisingly, Lin Wanting did not turn her back. She even stretched out her hand to pull him up with a calm expression. Could it be that he was making a fuss out of nothing? When a girl sees a naked man, it's not a big deal anymore. Liemo's mind was in a mess. He was confused by 001's actions. However, for the people of planet Araga, their form did not require clothes, so they did not feel anything towards Liemo's naked 001. 001 frowned slightly. But why hadn't Liemo made a move yet? The creatures on Earth were so fragile. If he stayed in the water for too long, he was afraid that his body would not be well. Just as 001 was about to bend down to catch Missouri, the sound of footsteps and laughter came from the other side of the forest. 001 turned her head curiously. At this time, Liemo finally made a move. He grabbed 001's hand and dragged her into the water. There was only one thought in Liemo's mind at that time. He must not let them see this. Otherwise, they would not be able to explain themselves. Liemo dragged 001 over, held her body in his arms, and hid behind a big rock with her. However, Liemo realized that he had made a stupid decision. Because he was not wearing anything, but he was pressed tightly against the warm and fragrant soft body in his arms. In this chilly night wind and ice-cold pond water, the soft and smooth body in his arms was the only warmth he had. Holding Lin Wanting tighter was the human instinct to absorb heat, but this made Liemo feel Lin Wanting's body more deeply. Especially when Liemo's big hand covered Lin Wanting's small mouth, he felt her hot breath in his palm and her delicate and soft lips like petals. This caused Liemo's heart to involuntarily feel strange, like shallow ripples on the surface of a lake. Liemo's hand trembled uncontrollably. He had placed himself in an even more awkward position. But now it was hard for him to get off the tiger's back. 001 was obediently in Liemo's arms and did not resist. She felt inexplicable about his series of actions and did not know what he wanted to do. The people who came were a man and a woman. They were not their classmates but a young couple. Instead of sleeping in the middle of the night, the young couple came to this place. What else was there to say? Sure enough, the young couple did not say much and went straight to the point. Soon there was a flirtatious sound in the forest. Liemo. The skin covered by his hand and the place where his body was pressed against Lin Wanting became hot. Liemo had never been so embarrassed in his life. If he could go back in time, Liemo would definitely not come here at night without sleeping. Even if he came here, he would not go down to take a bath, let alone pull Lin Wanting into the water as if he had a brain cramp. But there was no medicine for regret in this world. No matter how much he wanted to dig a hole and hide in it, Liemo had to face it bravely. What was more embarrassing than watching a love-action movie with a girl? You were not wearing clothes and the girl was wet. What was worse was that the two of you were pressed against each other. Even if Liemo had no desire for Lin Wanting, he could not go against a man's instinct. Moreover, it was easy to arouse desire at night, and there was the excitement of a wild fight in the forest. As the sound in his ears became louder and louder, their movements became more and more intense. Feeling Lin Wanting in his arms, Liemo's breathing couldn't help but quicken. He was very glad that Lin Wanting was completely blocked. She could not see the situation on the other side, but she could hear it. This made the atmosphere between the two of them even more ambiguous, until Liemo's body reacted. Liemo was completely stiff, and he did not dare to look at 001 at all. However, his body seemed to be consciously rubbing 001, looking for the most comfortable way for himself. However, after the physical pleasure, he was faced with the torture of the soul. Such a combination of ice and fire really made Liemo have an indescribable feeling. Since the two people came in, 001 has been secretly watching their actions. That's right, a live broadcast of the two of them. It turns out that this is the reproduction of creatures on the earth. The information has been collected. In the eyes of 001, this was just a normal human instinct. She did not feel anything else. She did not know all the complex psychological and physiological reactions of Liemo. Until 001 felt something behind him. 001 had analyzed it from the image just now. It was a male reproductive organ. This meant that the male wanted to go in and reproduce the next generation, but obviously, Liemo could not be here. And 001 also understood that if it was not solved, it would damage the health of the Earth's males. The two people over there finally came to an end. They stopped and left in a hurry. 001 turned to look at Liemo and asked, "Are you okay?" Liemo. Since the two people left, Liemo relaxed his body a little and his body felt weak. But in fact, Liemo's forehead was full of sweat, and it seemed that he was having a hard time holding back. The places that had hardened before did not soften at all. Liemo was very ashamed of his subconscious action of stroking Lin Wanting, although he could not forget that feeling. However, it was suddenly exposed by Lin Wanting, and blood rushed to Liemo's head. Liemo felt that the face in his life was completely lost in front of Lin Wanting. Liemo was silent. He did not know what he should say to Lin Wanting. 001 thought that she should help him. Was he embarrassed to ask? However, before 001 could speak, Liemo's eyes glanced at her body, but he quickly looked away as if he was scalded. 001's clothes were all wet and stuck to her body. It was faintly discernible and it was a fatal temptation. What's more, although Lin Wanting was slender and gentle, her figure was very good. She was fat in the places that should be fat, and thin in the places that should be thin. This was very attractive to men, and it made Liemo's throat dry. A thought flashed through his mind uncontrollably. It turned out to be pink and there was a C in it. After realizing what he was thinking, Liemo did not dare to look at Lin Wanting. It was not until now that Liemo realized that he was no different from those boys who liked to watch porn. He also had the troubles of puberty. Put on your clothes. On the contrary, it was Liemo who spoke to 001 first. At least he had to cover Lin Wanting first. Naturally, Liemo wasn't used to talking to people when he wasn't wearing clothes, especially when it was a girl. It was too strange and rude. Chapter 8. Liemo's words made 001 confused. She didn't think it was necessary for her to put on clothes. However, since this was Liemo's good intentions, she shouldn't reject him. Well, in fact, 001 thought that the creatures on the earth were so fragile, and she didn't want to coax people. Seeing 001 put on his clothes obediently, Liemo breathed a sigh of relief. No matter what, she always listened to him, didn't she? However, this thought just flashed through his mind. Just now, Liemo couldn't help but be stunned. When did his requirements become so low? Wasn't this sad? Of course, now was not the time to think about this. If 001 put on Liemo's shirt, he would have no clothes to wear himself. Liemo was naturally not used to going back bare-chested, so he could only ask 001 to go back and get him a piece of clothing. This kind of thing was difficult for Liemo to say, but he was really forced to do it. Liemo's face looked the same as usual, and his expression was still calm, but his hands behind his back were tightly clenched. In fact, Li Mo's naked posture, no matter how serious it was, would only have a funny effect. 001 agreed very quickly, and she quickly turned and left. This made Li Mo's body relax for a moment, but looking at the back of Lin wanting to leave and the cold wind that had just blown, Li Mo suddenly felt a trace of desolation. How did he end up in such a miserable situation? And Li Mo always felt that this matter was not over yet. No one was here, and Li Mo finally didn't have to be tense. He covered his face. Fortunately, 001 was also lucky. She didn't meet anyone along the way, and it went smoothly to get Li Mo's clothes. 001 handed the clothes to Li Mo. Li Mo had already put on his pants and was standing by the pool waiting for her. Li Mo couldn't care less. He put it on in front of Lin wanting. Only by putting it on could he give him a sense of security. Of course, 001 didn't know how to avoid it, so he just stared at him blankly. In fact, the way Li Mo put on his clothes showed off his smooth waistline and white abdominal muscles. He was charming and attractive to women, but 001 had no feelings for him at all. However, Li Mo didn't realize that something was wrong until he finished buttoning the last button. His body stiffened and he turned around with some difficulty to look at 001. 001 winked at him cutely, but this made Li Mo even more speechless. Li Mo didn't want to talk now. He just wanted to be left alone, so he and 001 returned to their respective tents without saying a word. Although there was a little interlude, 001 did not take it to heart at all. She was still sleeping soundly. Li Mo wasn't so lucky. The next day he showed up with a pair of panda eyes. Several boys near Li Mo bumped him gently and winked at him wretchedly. They all had a knowing look on their faces. Why did boys become like this? Of course it was because of women. Li Mo. He felt even more depressed, but it seemed that he couldn't explain it. At this time, 001 actually came out of the tent. She was in a good mood and said hello to Li Mo. However, when Li Mo saw 001's expression, he quickly walked away as if she was some kind of scourge. This made 001 stunned. Why did Li Mo seem to be angry when he saw her? Why was he in such a bad mood early in the morning? Last night's dark history, Li Mo wanted to throw it away and never think about it again. However, as soon as he saw Lin wanting, the memory of last night came back uncontrollably. Moreover, last night, Li Mo did not sleep peacefully, and the main culprit was 001. At first, Li Mo's dream was very erotic, which made him embarrassed to recall it. Li Mo's emotions towards 001 might also be ashamed and annoyed. In the same pool, he did not wear any clothes, but Lin wanting shyly looked at him and gently took off her clothes. Until now, Li Mo still remembered his shock and accelerated heartbeat in the dream. This dream was too real. However, he didn't know what was going on. His body seemed to be fixed and didn't move at all. He didn't stop Lin wanting, nor did he turn around or close his eyes. This was really not like him. Of course, Li Mo was even more afraid to admit that this was the development that he subconsciously hoped for. Lin wanting took off her clothes completely and hugged Li Mo tightly. Her eyes were watery, which made Li Mo's heart tremble fiercely. Her tender and attractive lips were slightly raised. Li Mo, I like you. Li Mo still remembered that he couldn't breathe in the dream, and his mind was suffocated. What happened next seemed to be natural. Those memories were all blurred. It should be because he was too ashamed to block them. And just at the last step, Li Mo remembered that his heart was about to jump out of his chest. Lin wanting smiled gently and said, Li Mo, I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you that I'm on my period. Li Mo. Then he woke up. He suddenly sat up and gasped for breath. His mind was in a mess. He wiped his face fiercely and wiped the sweat off his face. Li Mo's heart was full of the last feeling of being deceived. His heart was full of complicated emotions, but he felt that it was indeed something that Lin wanting could do. No, wasn't it more serious that he actually had an erotic dream about a girl? Did he really covet her? However, because of the last part of the story, Li Mo selectively ignored it. It was not until Li Mo felt that his lower body was wet that his face completely darkened. Therefore, Li Mo was very angry early in the morning. As for the reason, it could be complicated. But 001 didn't care. She had a pleasant breakfast with the others. Then, on the return bus, it was unknown whether it was a coincidence that 001 and Li Mo sat together. Li Mo still had a cold face and didn't speak. Usually he didn't have a cold expression, but he didn't exude cold air like now. But 001 still didn't feel anything. Her senses were more sensitive than those of people on Earth, so she heard the slight hunger coming from Li Mo's stomach. This attracted 001's attention. She turned to look at Li Mo, took out an apple from her arms and handed it to him. "Do you want to eat it?" Liemo still looked at her with a complicated and incomprehensible look. He was really angry with her and didn't eat breakfast. Liemo looked at her silently for a while, but still reached out to take it and slowly ate it. On the way back, 001 fell asleep. Liemo felt his shoulders sink. He turned his head and saw 001's sleeping face. It was really quiet and beautiful. Many thoughts flashed through Liemo's mind in an instant, but the closest one was the apple that he ate with her body temperature. Liemo took a deep look at 001. He turned his head and adjusted his body without a trace, so that she could sleep more comfortably. 001 did sleep well. When they arrived, she got up naturally and didn't notice that she had slept with Liemo all the way. And Liemo didn't mean to make it clear. He just gently rubbed his hands and shoulders without a trace. Until the beginning of the university in the cram school, 001 repeated the previous life of staring at people. And Liemo seemed to have learned to ignore her completely. It was just that almost everyone knew that Lin Wanting liked Liemo. On the eve of the beginning of the school, the cram school was closed. Lin Wanting's parents took 001 out to buy things. 001 was very curious about all this. She strolled slowly with Ms. Lin's parents. Who would have thought that they would bump into Liemo here? 001 and Liemo didn't exchange mobile phone numbers or contact information like QQ or WeChat. Even though 001 had already inquired about Liemo's information, he still couldn't believe it. The girl who had thought that she could completely disappear from his life and let his life return to normal appeared in front of him again. Even Liemo couldn't help believing in the so-called fate at this moment. The appearance of 001 reminded Liemo again about the outing. He couldn't pretend that nothing had happened. Seeing Liemo stop, Lady Li looked at him in confusion. After seeing 001, a smile appeared on her face. "It's that child. Go and say hello and thank her." Lady Li didn't say it clearly, but Liemo and she both knew it. Liemo pursed his lips. He had some unspeakable hesitation in his heart, but in the end he walked towards 001 with his mother. 001 was also surprised to see Liemo, but she greeted him enthusiastically. "Are you also out to buy things?" 001 asked curiously. Liemo silently nodded his head, causing Madame Li to raise her eyebrows as she watched from the side. She was talking to Lin Wanting's parents. Seeing this, she smiled and said, "Sorry, my son is not very good at talking." Liemo didn't have any flaws in this aspect. He could do it very well and he would never be rude. However, it was obvious that there was something wrong with his current appearance. Lady Li put her doubts in her heart and would talk to him when they got home. 001 didn't mind. She pulled Liemo and asked excitedly, "What do you think of this style?" "My mother said it's very good, but I think it's strange." 001 couldn't wait to show the underwear that Mrs. Lin had chosen for her to Liemo and wanted to ask his opinion. Chapter 9. 001 really didn't think that there was anything wrong with his actions. Of course, he was not used to human coverings. In his eyes, they were all strange. In particular, Lin Wanting's underwear was originally a simple style, but Mother Lin thought that her daughter was already an adult and could try more styles, even if it was a little sexy. This made 001 even more uncomfortable, but Mother Lin was very firm in this regard. 001 was also familiar with Liemo here, so he happened to meet him, which made 001 couldn't wait to complain to him. However, 001 never thought about what kind of shadow this would bring to Liemo's heart. Liemo quickly looked at the adults. Seeing that they were talking and didn't notice him and Lin Wanting, he breathed a sigh of relief. Liemo looked at Lin Wanting's calm and innocent eyes, and he only felt that he was holding back a breath in his heart. Liemo quickly closed the bag that 001 had opened. Although his action was fast enough, he still saw what he shouldn't have seen. Those exquisite and lovely styles, Liemo really couldn't help but imagine what kind of scenery they would look like on Lin Wanting's body. This made the tip of Liemo's nose hot again and he quickly stopped. However, when he realized what he was thinking, Liemo's face became even more ugly. Although he was cold, he was also a man with gentlemanly demeanor. At this time he really couldn't help but stare at 001 fiercely. 001 blinked his eyes in confusion. He didn't know what Liemo's series of actions meant. This made Liemo even more angry, but he was not a person who would lose his temper easily. "Put this away and don't show it to others in the future," Liemo directly ordered 001. Generally he would not be so rude, but he was really angry with 001. 001 still wanted to say something, but Liemo looked at her and signaled her to shut up. If 001 continued to do this, Liamo really didn't know what he would do. Of course, 001 was not afraid of Liamo, but she still obeyed Liamo's abnormal behavior. The creatures on Earth were fragile to begin with. She should have given in to Liamo. Even if 001 didn't know about it, if Liamo were to find out about his thoughts, he would probably explode in anger. Liamo and 001 returned to their respective parents. Lady Li introduced her son to Mr. and Mrs. Lin. My son Liamo is in the same class as Wanting. Thank you for taking care of me. Mama Li's words made Liamo's heart skip a beat, but he tried his best not to lose his composure. Although Mr. and Mrs. Lin had some doubts about this sentence, they just thought that it was Mama Li's polite words, so they didn't take it seriously. So they smiled and said, "You are too polite. I heard from Wanting that Liamo's grades are very good. He is always the first in his class. Wanting needs to learn from him." Mr. and Mrs. Lin's words made Liamo's heart roll again, although he knew that it was likely that they were just saying. However, as long as Liamo thought that Lin Wanting talked about him to his parents, he couldn't calm down. Although Liamo's face was expressionless, how could Mama Li not see that there was something wrong with Liamo? After Mr. and Mrs. Lin looked at Liamo for a while, they had a good impression of him. Thinking that everyone is from the same place, they are classmates, and in the future, Liamo and Lin Wanting will be in the same university, this is fate. So Mr. and Mrs. Lin asked Liamo, in the future, when Wanting is in school, I will have to trouble you to take care of her. This is the first time their daughter is going out, and her parents are not around. Naturally, Mr. and Mrs. Lin were not at ease, so they said this to Liamo. Otherwise, with Mr. and Mrs. Lin's character, they are not willing to trouble others. Mr. and Mrs. Lin's words made Liamo startled. He didn't react, but Lady Li pushed him from the side. Liamo softly said, "Uncle Auntie, rest assured I will." Liamo's words were short, but they were powerful and convincing. Liamo really doesn't want to have anything to do with Lin Wanting in the future, but Mr. Lin's words reminded him. Lin Wanting is a girl, what if she is bullied? It is impossible for him to ignore her. So Liamo promised them. Since he promised, he will do it. Mama Li smiled at them and said, "You can rest assured these two children take care of each other very well, and they also have an acquaintance. If I have a daughter like Wanting, I will love her dearly. Imo will take good care of her." Mama Li's words seemed to be polite to Mr. and Mrs. Lin, but in Liamo's heart, there was a strange feeling. Take good care of Lin Wanting in the future? Liamo clenched his hands and pursed his lips, trying to suppress the strange feeling in his heart. However, when they were talking, Lin Wanting's eyes fell directly on him, just like before at school. This made Liamo even more uncomfortable. In front of the parents of both sides, can't she restrain herself a little? Liamo wanted to reach out and cover Lin Wanting's eyes. They were ready to leave after a brief conversation. However, before they parted, 001 stopped Liamo and said to him enthusiastically, "Liamo, I look forward to seeing you in college." Liamo nodded politely to 001, but his mother's meaningful eyes behind his back made him feel cold. Of course, Liamo knew that 001 was kind, but because of her actions he was in an awkward situation. This really made Liamo's feelings towards 001. It seemed that since he met Lin Wanting during the summer vacation, he had been in such a mood. Sure enough, after returning home, Lady Li put on a posture to talk to Liamo, and Liamo had to sit down. "Imo, what's going on between you and that little girl?" Lady Li went straight to the point, which made Liamo's face slightly stiffen for a moment. Lady Li, who had been paying attention to her son, naturally would not miss this small detail. She put on an attitude and waited for Liamo to answer her. Liamo took a deep breath and said as calmly as possible, "There's nothing between me and her. It's not what you think." Liamo really couldn't tell his mother about what happened between him and Lin Wanting. However, there was indeed nothing between the two of them now. At least in Liamo's view, they didn't deliberately flirt. All of this smelled of a strange combination of factors. Mama Li didn't force Liamo. She just looked at him deeply and said, "Son, it's good that you know in your heart. If there's anything you don't understand, you can ask me." Lady Li patted Liamo on the shoulder and left. After all, she was also an experienced person and understood some of the thoughts of these young people. However, Lady Li's action still knocked heavily on Liamo's heart, knocking some things that he had always wanted to escape. 001 went to college with Air. She had a little taste of college life in Lin Wanting's memory, and she and Air were looking forward to it. Liamo and 001 both went to college on the same day, just happened to be sent there by their parents, and both of them had an appointment. On the train, Mr. Lin and Mr. Li were talking, and Mrs. Lin and Mama Lee were also chatting happily, leaving 001 and Liemo staring at each other. Of course, 001 didn't feel this kind of embarrassment. She handed her snack bag to Liemo in a friendly manner and said, "It's very delicious. Do you want to eat?" Liemo didn't know why, but now that he was with Lin Wanting, he felt that something was wrong. He could only make himself ignore her as much as possible, but it was not good. 001 broke the silence. Liemo shook his head and said, "No thank you." 001 ate happily by herself. Of course, even so, her etiquette was still very good. Liemo wouldn't take the initiative to talk to 001. Instead, he picked up a book to read. The two of them sat together and did their own things, which was very harmonious. 001 could not make a sound at all. However, not only did Liemo not feel annoyed, but he couldn't help but raise the corner of his mouth. Mr. Lin and Mrs. Lin didn't notice the problem between Liemo and Lin Wanting, but Lady Li was well aware of it. She didn't say that she was going to matchmake Liemo and Lin Wanting. She wouldn't interfere too much in her own son's love affairs. Lady Li would only remind Liemo so that he wouldn't make mistakes. She glanced at Liemo and Lin Wanting worriedly. She couldn't help but feel relieved. When they arrived at the university, the parents of the two families went to help them with the formalities and so on. Lin Wanting was escorted to Susei by Liemo and helped her carry her luggage. Lin Wanting and Liemo were such handsome men and beautiful women that people couldn't help but stare at them along the way. What's more, Lin Wanting had a unique temperament, as if she were a lady from an ancient family. Such a beauty was rare in today's society. "Hello, classmate. I'm Sun Sun. I live on the upper berth." 001 had just arrived at the dormitory. When Liemo was helping her put her things down, a roommate came to say hello to her. The other party was a beautiful and lovely girl. She seemed to have a cheerful personality and looked very beautiful when she smiled. 001 also nodded to her kindly and said, "Hello, I'm Lin Wanting. Nice to meet you." 001 followed the etiquette that Lin Wanting should have. She had a gentle temperament and a gentle personality, which made people have a good impression on her. Sun Sun immediately pointed to Liemo and winked at 001. "Wanting, is this your boyfriend? He's so good looking." Sun Sun really thought that Lin Wanting and Liemo were a good match. Not only were they outstanding in appearance, but they also had different temperaments from scholarly families. Although Sun Sun said it in a low voice, Liemo still heard it, which made him stop packing his things. Liemo persuaded himself not to care about it, but his ears pricked up spontaneously. However, 001 said without hesitation, "No, I don't like him." 001 always remembered her task. She couldn't let others know that Lin Wanting liked Liemo. After all, it was a secret love. Moreover, Liemo had never been Lin Wanting's boyfriend. He was Sun Jiayong's boyfriend. When he heard this answer, Liemo's heart surged with a sense of discomfort that even he could not ignore. This caused him to be slightly stunned. But then Liemo couldn't help thinking that Lin Wanting liked to say one thing and mean another, which made Liemo's feelings more complicated. Sun Sun blinked her eyes. She looked at Lin Wanting and Liemo inquisitively. She always felt that things were not so simple. Her eyes were sparkling and full of gossip. At this time, the other two girls in the dormitory came in, but their clothes were in sharp contrast. One was too simple and the other was too luxurious. It could almost be seen at a glance that the two girls' families were poor. The simple one was called Xiao Xiao. She came from the countryside. It was not easy for her to get into the university. She was very down-to-earth and serious. The flamboyant one was called Xiang Hua. She was able to get into this university because her father invited many famous teachers to teach her alone. They threatened and tempted her, which made her break out. After getting into the university, Xiang Hua became free and easy. She didn't care about her studies at all. Therefore, after that, 001 only got close to Sun Sun. Because Xiao Xiao had to do a part-time job, and Xiang Hua had countless parties, they basically didn't see anyone. Now 001 greeted them politely. Xiao Xiao also responded, but Xiang Hua responded lazily. She was not interested in them, so she didn't care much about these roommates. But when her eyes fell on Liemo, she became a little more spirited. Sun Sun saw this. She gently pushed 001 to signal him, but she met 001's puzzled eyes. This caused Sun Sun to be unable to help but sigh, and he didn't say anything further. Maybe she was wrong. She didn't want to sow discord between classmates as soon as she arrived. Liemo didn't care about them either. After saying goodbye to them, he left with Lin Wanting. With Lin Wanting's good reputation in the class, Liemo felt that he didn't need to worry about these roommates. However, when they stopped in front of the dormitory building, Liemo couldn't help telling 001, "You can know a person's face but not his heart. If you don't know him, don't trust him too much, even if he is your roommate." Liemo paused for a moment. Since he had already said it, he didn't mind saying more no matter what Lin Wanting thought of him. Moreover, because he is your roommate, you may need to be more careful. You should know clearly who you can make friends with and who you can't. 001 wrote down all of Liemo's words. She nodded obediently to him. Every time 001 was obedient, it could make Liemo's heart soften. But in fact, what she did every time made Liemo feel a little hurt. 001 took out a small bag from her backpack and handed it to Liemo. She looked at him and said sincerely, "Liemo, thank you for helping me a lot. This is a gift for you." Liemo was a little stunned, but the joy and expectation in his heart couldn't be ignored. Liemo clenched the thing in his hand and pursed his lips unconsciously. He looked at 001 and said, "No thank you." Liemo turned around and left, but he unconsciously quickened his pace, seeming a little impatient. Liemo went to the men's room. He took a deep breath and carefully opened the gift that 001 gave him. However, when he saw that thing, Liemo's whole body stiffened, and a blush spread to his white face. After Liemo came to his senses, his face turned blue and white, which was very ugly. Chapter 10. Liemo gritted his teeth and spat out 3 words, "Lin. One. Thing." Every time Liemo softened his heart to Lin Wanting, she could always do something unexpected and make him crazy. Liemo was so angry that his hands trembled. He was holding a pair of underwear that fit his taste very well, and the size was very suitable. Because of this, Liemo was terrified. What did Lin Wanting do behind the scenes? However, no matter what she did, every single one of them made Liemo's face turn red. Liemo wanted to roll up the underwear in his hand like a hot potato and throw it away. However, he thought that this was a gift from Lin Wanting after all, so he hesitated and kept it. However, as soon as he saw this thing, Liemo was upset, and his cheeks inevitably blushed. However, it was so ostentatious that Liemo couldn't ignore it. Just like Lin Wanting, it was very quiet, but it was in Liemo's place that it had a strong sense of existence. But 001 was very happy after giving this gift. She thought that she was considerate enough and Liemo would be very happy. Liemo and Lin Wanting were different majors, but sometimes they would have the same courses. What's more, in order to see Liemo, Lin Wanting naturally chose the same elective as him, and 001 would not change. In fact, Liemo wanted to avoid Lin Wanting and leave. He didn't want to see her for the time being. As soon as he saw Lin Wanting, he would think of the underwear that he had hidden at the bottom of the box and would never take out to wear in his life. It made his cheeks blush, but he couldn't help but be angry at Lin Wanting. Lin Wanting, as usual, didn't feel anything and greeted Liemo warmly. However, Liemo faintly greeted Lin Wanting, looking very indifferent. When Xiang Hua, who was in the dormitory behind Lin Wanting, saw this, her eyes lit up. 001 didn't think there was anything wrong with Liemo's attitude, but Sun Sun felt wronged for her. Wanting, what happened to him? Wasn't that right? The girl greeted him with such an attitude. Wasn't it embarrassing? It would have been fine if they weren't familiar with each other, but that day, Liemo sent her to the dormitory and even helped her clean up. It was obvious that the two of them had a close relationship. Liemo's attitude was unreasonable. He has always been like this. 001 replied naturally. This made Sun Sun look at her with eyes full of sympathy. She made up a tens of thousands of words in her mind. 001 sad love story. 001 didn't notice, but Xiang Hua, who was behind them, had already raised the corner of her mouth with a sneer. Liemo didn't want to see it, but 001 wouldn't let him get away with it. Liemo thought that he and Lin Wanting wouldn't have many interactions in college like they were in high school, but it turned out that he was too naive. Lin Wanting was still everywhere as she had been in high school. Of course, this didn't mean that she followed him closely like Sun Jiayoung and tried to block him. He didn't know when it started, but his roommates in the dormitory started to look at Liemo in a strange way. Just like in high school, it was a well-known secret that Lin Wanting liked Liemo, but it was still the same in college. Lin Wanting had never said that she liked him, let alone publicized it. When others asked her, she always got a negative answer. However, everyone thought that Lin Wanting didn't mean it, or she was too shy to admit it. Because Lin Wanting's love for Liemo was so obvious that people with discerning eyes could see it. It was useless for her to deny it. The new campus belle of the secretarial department liked the school hunk of the business administration. This was their tacit understanding. Liemo, He thought of the feeling of being dominated by Lin Wanting's eyes in high school. Couldn't he escape when he was in college? No, one day he actually had to use the word escape, which was quite sad in itself. In the classroom, Liemo sat in his seat, looking straight ahead as he listened attentively to the teacher. It wasn't until he smelled a familiar fragrance beside him that Liemo had a feeling that it was as he expected. The person sitting next to Liemo was naturally 001. This was the basic quality of a secret admirer, and 001 had always done well. However, in fact, the seat next to Liemo was indeed occupied by Lin Wanting, but she didn't do it herself. In addition to 001's roommate, Sun Sun, who would help her occupy that seat, there was also Liemo's roommate. It was said that it was because 001 kept looking at Liemo all the time and tried to get close to him and inquire about him. Such infatuation moved them. Moreover, there were also students from other departments who helped her occupy the seat next to Liemo. This kind of thing should have made him feel disgusted. When could he tolerate others interfering in his affairs like this? However, now Liemo only had a feeling of not knowing whether to laugh or cry about Lin Wanting. He was also thinking about how to avoid Lin Wanting, rather than being disgusted by her taking measures, which was abnormal in itself. Liemo could only sit up straighter and listen to the class attentively. Naturally, 001 would not disturb him except to stare at him all the time. But it was 001's gaze that made Liemo restless and couldn't ignore it. Liemo found it more and more difficult to calm down. Under 001's gaze he was more and more affected. Generally, unrelated people couldn't affect Liemo no matter what they did, instead of making him feel uncomfortable like now. The girls in 001's dormitory were also sitting not far away from her. Seeing 001's appearance, Xianghua couldn't help but sneer. From the first time she saw Liemo, she had a good impression of him. She disdained the way Lin Wanting pursued a man, and now she was going to take action herself. Xianghua wrote a small note and secretly threw it on Liemo's desk. Before Liemo could react, 001 took the note first. How could he let others affect Liemo's study? 001 thought that his task was to solve problems for Liemo. What's more, she was a beauty. He couldn't let her attract Liemo's attention. At this time he was going to play. 001 had always kept the secret love handbook in mind and carried it out seriously. Xianghua. She couldn't believe it and widened her eyes. Lin Wanting, who looked like a steamed bun, dared to make such a bold move. In particular, she dared to ruin her plan, which made Xianghua angry. Therefore, she raised her hand to the teacher and reported, "Teacher, Lin Wanting wrote a note to a boy for being absent-minded in class." If she hadn't said it, the teacher might have turned a blind eye, but since Xianghua had brought it up, he couldn't turn a blind eye. Liemo didn't think so much at that time. He just didn't want Lin Wanting to have a demerit on her record. It was definitely a very heavy blow to a good student like her to have a stain on her resume. Moreover, he didn't know what Xianghua was thinking. Although no one noticed her little action, the handwriting was her own. However, Xianghua had always been unscrupulous. Even if it was unreasonable, she could make it sound reasonable. Liemo wanted to take the note in Lin Wanting's hand and show the handwriting to others, which was obviously different from hers. However, 001 didn't realize the seriousness of the matter at all, but she also had a way to not let Lin Wanting be ashamed. 001 was about to destroy it, but Liemo reached out to her, and she instinctively wanted to avoid it. Therefore, Liemo's hand accidentally touched Lin Wanting. She was wearing a skirt, so there was no barrier to touch her skin. Liemo. His mind was full of the situation just now. His body was stiff, his face was smoking, and he was completely stunned. Moreover, because Liemo was too shocked, his hand didn't move away. It wasn't until Liemo felt the smooth and soft skin in his palm that Liemo's heart thumped as if it was about to jump out. Liemo also admired himself. The teacher was waiting for them on the podium, but he still had the time to think about it. Chapter 11. However, Liemo had this kind of ability. No matter what he was thinking in his heart, his face remained calm and composed, making it impossible for others to see the slightest bit of abnormality. Liemo pretended to be very calm on the surface. He took the small note from 001's hand in an irresistible manner. Liemo didn't know whether it was because he was stimulated or something else. It was rare for him to be so strong in front of 001. In fact, 001 didn't think so much at all. She didn't feel anything about it at all. She didn't know anything about a young man's thoughts at all. However, she did feel that Liemo had a strange mood. But every time Liemo faced her, he would be like this, which made 001 think that men on Earth were more emotional and sensitive. Of course, if he knew about 001's attitude of pampering Liemo, he would probably have the urge to vomit blood due to internal injuries. Since Liemo insisted on doing this, then he wouldn't argue with it and would just let it be. At worst, if he didn't do it well, she would clean it up herself. Liemo, although 001 didn't say what she thought at all, she didn't need to say it at all. Her mind was clear and all of it was shown in her innocent eyes. What was going on with her acting as if he was a spoiled brat? How could this not drive him crazy? Liemo took a deep breath and suppressed the emotions in his heart. He calmly explained the matter to the teacher. Xianghua couldn't deny it at all. She wasn't really that stupid. She just didn't expect that Liemo would stand on 001's side. So what if others saw it? Who would tell the truth under pressure from the Xiang family? At that time, it would be easy for Xianghua to distort the truth. It was obvious that Liemo was very indifferent to Lin Wanting, who knew that he would protect her at a critical time. This also let others understand that Liemo was not as ruthless to Lin Wanting as he showed. This matter was easily solved. After that, 001 and Liemo didn't talk to each other anymore. They were both listening to the class carefully. But when the class was over, Liemo waited for her outside for the first time. When Sun Sun saw him, he smiled at 001 ambiguously, made a gesture of encouragement to her, and left quickly. 001 didn't care, but Liemo's face stiffened when he saw it. When 001 came to him, Liemo's face had returned to normal. Are you okay? Liemo looked at Lin Wanting with a complicated look. He couldn't help but feel like this. It was always hard to explain. Liemo wanted to say something else to 001, but when Lin Wanting stood in front of him and saw her beautiful face and petite figure, Liemo realized that no matter what, Lin Wanting is a weak woman that needs to be cared for and cared for. That was why Liemo's slightly awkward words of concern came out of his mouth. Liemo's EQ was not low. Such words would not make him behave like this. However, when this person was Lin Wanting, Liemo couldn't be at ease in front of her. 001 blinked her eyes and smiled at him. I'm fine, thank you. 001's smile made Liemo's eyes flash uncontrollably. It was not brilliant and gorgeous. It was always so soft, but it seeped into Liemo's heart. He turned his eyes away slightly and didn't look at 001's face. Well, don't you have anything to say about the accident in class? Liemo's voice was very steady, and his expression didn't change much. But his hands tightly grasped his trousers. Liemo didn't want to escape anymore. He wanted to face it directly. Although he didn't mean it, Liemo couldn't tolerate himself taking advantage of a girl like this. Liemo's words caused 001 to widen his eyes in confusion. Talk. Say what? 001 really didn't feel that there was anything to say, but Liemo seemed very persistent. 001 suddenly realized that human beings needed to be praised. It turned out that Liemo was waiting for her to praise him. Therefore 001 said sweetly to Liemo, "You did a good job. You're great. You're amazing." Because Liemo's mind was full of those charming things at this time, there was no doubt that 001's words made him think the wrong way. Liemo? He couldn't calm down at all, and a wave of heat spread all over his body. A girl said to a boy that he was great. To say that he was great was... Liemo quickly stopped. He felt that he needed to clear his mind recently. Looking into Lin Wanting's clear and clean eyes, Liemo felt even more dirty. However, Liemo thought that every time something like this happened, it seemed that he was the one who was nervous and his heart was beating fast, while Lin Wanting acted as if nothing had happened. In other words, it was always Liemo who was bashful on the side, and 001 was not affected at all. This made Liemo suddenly angry in his heart. He couldn't help but hold 001's hand tightly. I just took advantage of you. I didn't mean it, but this kind of thing has happened more than once. Why don't you care at all? Liemo directly said everything and questioned 001. However, 001 looked very surprised by his appearance. She really didn't feel that Liemo was taking advantage of her. This couldn't help but make 001 sigh in her heart. The males on the earth were really too introverted. They were indeed fragile creatures that needed her to be careful. Because it's you. It doesn't matter anyway. This was the rule that she should abide by when doing tasks. 001 said this sentence to Liemo very sincerely. However, she didn't know how much this sentence set off a storm in Liemo's heart. At a speed visible to the naked eye, the blush spread little by little to Liemo's whole cheeks as if it could be hot. Although Liemo's expression was still calm, his eyes unconsciously became wet, which was a sign of arousal. Liemo didn't say anything more to 001. It should be said that he was defeated by 001's words and couldn't say anything. But 001 looked at Liemo's back in doubt. She always flirted without knowing it. "Hey Wanting, how are you?" When 001 returned to the dormitory, Sun Sun winked at her. Xianghua was not there. It was estimated that she had just done that kind of thing, so it was not convenient for her to come back, and Xiao Xiao was usually working part-time. "Pretty good," 001 answered casually. She was very confident in her ability to complete the task. She must be the best. At night, Liemo lay in bed very early, but he didn't fall asleep. Or it should be said that he was upset by Lin Wanting's behavior during the day and couldn't fall asleep at all. He lay in bed and tossed and turned. No matter what, his mind was reflected in Lin Wanting's appearance when he said that sentence, which made him unconsciously palpitate when he thought about it. Didn't I know that he liked me long ago? Didn't he not want to accept me? The person he liked was Sun Jiaoyang, although she broke up with me unilaterally. Thinking of Sun Jiaoyang, Liemo was shocked. Since his life was disturbed by Lin Wanting, how long had it been since he thought about her? The heartache when he just learned that she almost left without saying goodbye was just a sense of loss now. Time was really merciless. It seemed to be able to take away all feelings. Or was he such a heartless person? At this time Mama Li called him. She sent him a bag of specialties and asked him to take some to Lin Wanting. Hearing this name, Liemo's heart moved unconsciously. Or he could give her a video call. After all, it was better to explain things. In fact, it was just an excuse that Liemo wanted to see her. Chapter 12. When she saw that the person displayed was Liemo, she clicked on it casually. "Liemo, what's the matter?" Lin Wanting's voice was as soft and gentle as ever, which made Liemo's ears move slightly. He had to admit that when he was waiting for Lin Wanting to talk to him, he unconsciously became nervous. He hadn't had a video call with Lin Wanting yet. This kind of perspective was very strange, but Lin Wanting's voice was very good to ease this feeling. Liemo suppressed his tumultuous emotions and told her what Mama Li had told him. This made 001's smile widen and she said in surprise, "That's great, help me thank Auntie." Hearing Lin Wanting's words and looking at her expression, Liemo's lips unconsciously showed a smile. Therefore his words were even gentler. "Wait, I still have some here. I'll show you which flavor you like." When Liemo left, 001 took off her clothes and began to change into her pajamas. When Liemo re-entered the video interface, the first thing that entered his eyes was a small section of a delicate and fair waist, and even more beautiful and alluring scenery above that. The phone in Liemo's hand immediately fell, making a loud noise, which was heard by the other students in the dormitory. Liemo finally couldn't help but have a nosebleed. He quickly covered his nose. Even though Liemo's speed was fast enough, a few drops still fell on his quilt, revealing a dazzling bright red color. Liemo was stunned. His mind was completely filled with the scene he had just seen. 001, on the other hand, looked at the blacked-out video in confusion after changing clothes. Why did Liemo suddenly hang up? After Liemo reacted, he hurriedly covered his phone. He was afraid that others would see such an erotic scene. However, when the always cold and calm school hunk became like this, it naturally attracted the attention of his roommates. Especially when they saw Liemo's nosebleed, they all showed a tacit smile between men. "Liemo, oh Liemo, I didn't expect you to be like this, Liemo." "That's right. Tell me, did you secretly watch an action movie on the roof by yourself just now? Look at this, you're burning yourself." Liemo. He was really full of mouths and he couldn't explain it clearly. Furthermore, from a certain perspective, what they said was not wrong. It was because of this that Liemo was so frustrated and speechless. Liemo's silence made them more excited. Liemo simply ignored them and rushed downstairs of 001's dormitory in one breath. Liemo had rushed over in a single breath. By the time he reached the ground floor, his mind had calmed down. What was he doing? However, since he was already here, Liemo couldn't back down. Therefore he took a deep breath and called 001. "Come downstairs, I'm downstairs." As soon as he heard Lin Wanting's voice, the feeling of shame and anger just now came up again. Therefore Liemo's voice was very cold to Lin Wanting, and he unconsciously used a commanding tone. 001 didn't care because she couldn't feel that kind of emotion at all. 001 came down very quickly wearing that thin nightgown. Of course, her style was the same as Lin Wanting's usual style of dressing, gentle and not revealing. However, in Liemo's eyes, it still made his brain explode. She came out to see a man dressed like this in the middle of the night. What was she thinking? In particular, Li Mo's good eyesight allowed him to clearly see that the girl was not wearing underwear, which made him think of the scene he saw through the video before. Li Mo quickly covered his nose, feeling the urge to have a nosebleed again. Of course, Li Mo's mood was even more flustered and exasperated because of 001's behavior. He suddenly put down his hand, pulled 001 to a hidden place, and put his coat on 001's shoulders forcibly. 001 blinked his eyes in confusion. His clear eyes stared at Li Mo as if he was the one who had misunderstood him. Li Mo couldn't help exhaling, staring at 001 and saying, "What are you thinking? Do you know what you're doing?" A thoughtful and meticulous person like Lin Wanting couldn't be unaware of the consequences of the matter. However, because of Lin Wanting's consistent character, Li Mo also believed that she wasn't the kind of person who would use such means to seduce him. However, Li Mo was indeed about to be driven crazy by Lin Wanting. Of course, 001 didn't understand the reason why Li Mo did this. She just thought that the males on Earth were really delicate. "I know very well," 001 answered firmly. She had always been strong-willed. She wouldn't be confused, wavered, or flinched. She was very clear about her mission and goal. However, 001's words made Li Mo stunned, and he looked at her in disbelief. Li Mo almost lost his voice and said, "Then why are you doing this?" Li Mo had a faint guess in his heart, but he didn't dare to believe it, and his heart was about to jump out of his chest. 001 didn't know Li Mo's mood, and she answered without hesitation, "Of course it's because that person is you. You're not someone else." After getting the answer he expected, Li Mo's heart swelled, and the blush spread uncontrollably from his neck to his cheeks. Li Mo's eyes dodged, and he almost didn't dare to look directly at Lin Wanting. Just like last time, Li Mo was defeated by 001, and he couldn't find the momentum he had when he came here. However, before leaving, Li Mo couldn't help but whisper to 001, "Then remember, don't do this in front of others." 001 nodded obediently, and then Li Mo left in a daze. After returning to his dormitory, Li Mo suddenly woke up. What was he saying to Lin Wanting just now? It seemed that Lin Wanting could only wear it for him to see. Was that what he was thinking subconsciously? Li Mo couldn't help but cover his face. He couldn't face this cruel fact. The school and other universities were going to hold a friendly competition. Li Mo and 001 were both selected because of their excellent grades. They were all treated well, but because they were from different departments, Li Mo and 001 didn't sit together. This made Li Mo not know whether to breathe a sigh of relief or a little lost. After arriving at the reserved hotel, some precautions were taken care of by Li Mo and others, and they needed to explain it to the people from other departments. But the task of Lin Wanting was handed over to Li Mo, and they kept winking at him. Obviously, they thought that it gave Li Mo a good opportunity to get close to the beauty, which made Li Mo's heart ripple. He tried to calm himself down and then knocked on Lin Wanting's door. 001 had just taken a shower. She opened the door for him, and Li Mo couldn't help but be stunned. Because the shirt 001 was wearing was Li Mo's previous shirt. Li Mo. This kind of impact made Li Mo's brain so hot that it was about to explode. Lin Wanting was wearing his shirt and she was wearing nothing else. This was an extremely ambiguous action, not to mention that Lin Wanting's good figure was exposed at a glance. Before Li Mo came to his senses, he quickly reached out and closed the door. 001 didn't notice. She turned and walked into the room. As she walked, she said apologetically, "I'm sorry, Li Mo. My hairpin fell under the bed. I'll pick it up. Sit down for a while." Li Mo walked behind 001. He could see her pair of white, tender and seductive legs that were exposed under the hem of her shirt. And as 001 walked, the beautiful scenery on her body was faintly discernible. Li Mo's body unconsciously heated up. Li Mo felt that the air here was suffocating him. His entire body was dizzy and his head was swelling. At this time, 001 gave Li Mo a fatal blow. Chapter 13. Naturally, 001 didn't think that there was anything wrong with this posture, or that there was anything indescribable about it. In fact, if Li Mo hadn't just come over, 001 would have directly lifted the big bed to pick up the things. However, since Li Mo had come over, she couldn't do that. She could only use the method of the females on Earth. 001 felt that she was really witty. She couldn't help but praise herself in her heart. Meanwhile, Li Mo seemed to have been hit by something. His whole body was frozen in place and couldn't move. Look, he saw it. Liamo felt as if he had been boiled in a pot of boiling water, his entire body boiling with heat. He stared blankly and his blood rushed to the top of his head. He forgot to move his eyes away. After a long time, Liamo finally reacted. He immediately rushed over and wanted to reach out and pull down his shirt to cover Lin Wanting. This was Liamo's instinctive reaction. He didn't know whether he was too anxious or panicked, but he pushed things to a worse situation and made his own situation more difficult. Just looking at it made Liamo's heart beat so fast that it felt like it was about to jump out, and his whole body was about to be boiled. But now he was in close contact with it. Liamo felt that his brain had crashed and his heart seemed to have stopped beating. His whole body was about to explode. The abnormal touch finally made 001 raise her head to look at Liamo, but her movement made it more convenient for Liamo. His eyes were blurred and his face was flushed. This was his body's instinctive reaction and he couldn't help it. However, there was a drop of sweat on Liamo's forehead dripping down along his handsome face, giving this handsome young man a touch of strangely seductive sexiness. Liamo's expression was one of forbearance, which shocked 001. She didn't know why he suddenly became like this. 001 didn't care about the abnormality of her body. She quickly got up, and Liamo's hand finally left. Liamo, what's wrong with you? 001 anxiously walked to Liamo and asked. The creatures on the earth were extremely fragile in the heart of 001. 001 was worried that if he didn't pay attention for a while, Liamo would die. Although Liamo's current state was not much better than being dead. After today's events, he was like a little virgin who had never seen an action movie before. He had been hit by a home run. Liamo's reaction became sluggish. He looked at 001 but his eyes were not focused at all. I'm fine. Liamo looked at 001 like a wandering soul, but he didn't seem to be fine at all. 001 couldn't help but frown. Although she felt a little annoyed, there were too many things on the earth that she needed to take good care of. However, she was also a good general who cared about the weak, so 001 still patiently led Liamo to the sofa to sit down, and went to pour him a glass of water. When 001 left, Liamo lowered his head in a daze. Looking at his hand, which had never changed its posture, Liamo lowered his head and sniffed it. Seems a little sweet. How does it taste? This thought suddenly flashed through his mind, and Liamo's whole body seemed to be struck by lightning. What was he doing just now? What was he thinking just now? He was completely like a pervert. Liamo couldn't accept himself like this at all. After hearing 001's footsteps, he quickly hid his hand behind his back as if he was a thief. Liamo's face was serious and he calmly reached out and took the glass of water. However, he couldn't help but gently stroke his hand behind his back. He couldn't forget the smooth and soft touch, which made him reminisce endlessly. And Liamo's mouth was really dry, so he drank a big mouthful of water. Liamo, I'm sorry, this shirt should have been returned to you, but I forgot to bring my pajamas. With me. I think your pajamas are good, so I put them on. 001's words immediately made Liamo, who had just drunk a big mouthful of water, immediately choke. He coughed very badly. This immediately made 001 stop talking. She quickly got up and sat down next to Liamo, gently stroking his back. However, 001's action seemed to stimulate Liamo even more. He couldn't avoid it and his whole person looked even more embarrassed. Liamo coughed so much that he couldn't speak at all, but he waved his hand again and again, wanting 001 to leave. 001 looked at him doubtfully, but she had always been obedient, so she sat a little farther away from Liamo. After the fragrance of 001 was a little farther away from him, Liamo felt that he could breathe again. Otherwise, the rolling emotions in his heart would drown him. However, when Liamo finally calmed down a little, he looked up and a fire rushed straight to the top of his head. Because of the pull just now, a few buttons on 001's shirt broke, and some of the clothes fell on one side. The water he splashed also splashed on her body. It could be imagined how tempting 001 was to men now, but she didn't feel it at all. Liamo couldn't stand it at a glance, especially when she was so close to him as if he could touch her. When 001 sat down, the length of the shirt was tightly covered, but this made it more attractive, and he wanted to explore it further. Liamo suddenly stood up, which was very abrupt and strange, and 001 looked at him in surprise. However, Liamo couldn't care so much. He felt that if he didn't stay away from Lin Wanting, it would be too dangerous. Liamo turned his back to 001 and didn't look at her. He quickly explained the matter to her. Liamo couldn't help but feel lucky that he had memorized the precautions. Otherwise, he would have been speechless at this moment because his brain was not working at all. After Liamo finished speaking, he quickly fled from 001 as if he had been burned by fire. Yes, he fled. He felt that if he didn't leave, something bad would happen. However, 001 was puzzled about it. Liamo was strange. It was really difficult to understand the minds of men on the earth. As soon as Liamo came back, he shut himself in the bathroom to take a bath. He took a deep breath and tried to calm himself down. However, even if he stood under the shower with cold water, his body and mind were hot, and he couldn't calm down. Liamo turned off the water irritably, wiped his body, put on his clothes and came out. However, although Liamo fell asleep very quickly, there was a little devil in his dream. The impulse of today was still there. The pink, tender, attractive, tight and hot feeling had been firmly engraved in Liamo's mind. Therefore, in the dream, Liamo completely released himself and did whatever he wanted to Lin Wanting. When Liamo awoke the next day, he actually felt a sense of loss. He was sweating, but his body was unprecedentedly comfortable. It was just a pity that this was just a dream. Liamo. He seemed to have given up on himself for having such a mentality. A familiar feeling swept through Liamo's whole body. He had experienced such a situation when he went on an outing last time. This time Liamo faced it calmly. When he saw 001 again the next day, Liamo seemed to have returned to normal, which also made 001 feel relieved. With Liamo and 001, their school won without any suspense. The student union was ready to reward them. Therefore, they could enjoy a free 3-day tour of the Hot Spring Hotel, during which they could enjoy all kinds of 5-star services in the hotel for free. There were beauty treatments, big meals, hot springs and so on that girls liked. Even boys had video games and various sports venues, which made the students very excited. However, this hotel was under the name of the Xiang family, and this proposal was also proposed by Xiang Hua. She naturally didn't have good intentions. Although Xiang Hua didn't do anything after the last incident, she was not ready to let go of Liamo and Lin Wanting. This was a shame for Xiang Hua. Although the Xiang family was powerful, Xiang Hua didn't get a demerit in the end. Chapter 14. They had just returned victorious and now they had such a reward. The students were very excited along the way. The students around them were all chattering away except for Liamo and 001, who were the only ones who were surprised. They were not enthusiastic people, but they were also politely answering the questions of the students around them. From the beginning to the end, Liamo did not make eye contact with 001, and 001 did not look at Liamo even once. Liamo looked very normal on the surface, but he clearly knew that he couldn't pretend that nothing had happened. It was because the impact was too great that he tried to cover it up. However, Liamo clearly knew that he was avoiding a certain feeling, but he couldn't help but care about 001's behavior. Liamo consciously avoided 001, but he couldn't help but pay attention to her. Why doesn't she look at me now? Is she angry? Or, thinking of the speculation that made his heart sink, Liamo didn't even dare to think about it. Or does she not like me anymore? Wasn't this what I wanted her to be like from the beginning? But why do I feel so difficult to accept now? Originally, Liamo was relieved that 001 did not frequently pay attention to him and disturb his heart lake. At this time his mood was completely depressed. In fact, 001 felt that she had performed her recent task very well. She had done everything that was mentioned in the secret love handbook. She didn't have to stare at him so urgently anymore. Moreover, she heard that it was very comfortable to soak in hot springs on the earth, which made 001 very curious and eager to try it. After arriving at the hotel, she made an appointment with other female students. It was better to listen to the experienced female students on the earth on this kind of thing. Therefore, 001 didn't have so much time to stare at Liamo at this time. On the contrary, Liamo frequently looked at 001. She seemed to be very interested in something. She had been listening attentively with her head tilted. Moreover, the way Lin Wanting smiled, Liamo wanted to say a long time ago that it was too much like a young and elegant flower blooming alone. However, what was different now was that this little flower had quietly bloomed at the bottom of his heart. Liamo pursed his lips. Looking at Lin Wanting's smile, his heart itched. He wanted to do something and his hands unconsciously clenched. However, even after 001 and her classmates entered the hot spring, Liamo did not find a chance to talk to her. 001 and the students were separated, but they were very close to each other so they could talk through a curtain. It was said that this was the characteristic design of this hotel, but in fact, It was specially prepared by Xianghua for 001. If she didn't separate them, how could she deal with her? Xianghua asked someone to put a snake in the hot spring in 001. It was not poisonous. Of course, she was not so crazy to kill people. Xianghua just wanted 001 to make a fool of himself. If he ran out of the hot spring in disheveled clothes, all the other students, including boys and girls, would see it. Especially in front of Liemo, she really lost a lot of face. However, Xianghua didn't expect that after 001 saw a snake soaking in the hot spring, she didn't panic or get scared at all, let alone run out and yell. 001 calmly picked up the snake and held it in front of her eyes to observe it carefully. It was still alive. The snake hissed and stuck out its tongue as if it was showing off to 001. However, in fact, animals have a more sensitive instinct than humans. It sensed that 001 was a very dangerous existence for it. It was just afraid and wanted to escape. But 001 held the snake's body tightly and looked at its green eyes. Error, is this a snake on the earth? Yes, it's a reptile. It's non-venomous. 001 nodded its little head with interest. Except for human beings, this was the first time she had been so close to other creatures on the earth. 001 was having a good time playing with the snake, but Xianghua, who was waiting outside, was anxious. Why hasn't there been any reaction for so long? What's going on inside? Xianghua gritted her teeth. She couldn't wait any longer, so she decided to go in and see the situation in person. However, 001 was not scared, but she was scared enough to scream. 001 is also scared by her voice. Her hand trembles and the snake flies out of her hand. And, coincidentally, the snake fell on Xianghua's body. This scared Xianghua out of her wits. Her voice almost pierced through the sky. At this time, 001 suddenly rushed out of the water, bringing with it a splash of water. She grabbed a towel from the side and wrapped it around herself, then ran towards Xianghua. 001 knew that the fragile little females on the earth were afraid of these things, and it was said that males were generally stronger than females. However, when 001 thought of the delicate Liemo, she suddenly felt that the females on earth were really too weak to scare her. She needed to redouble her care. Therefore, 001 put one hand around Xianghua's waist and held her in her arms, and quickly took the snake from her with the other hand. Well, it's all right. Don't be afraid. 001 comforted Xianghua in a soft voice unique to Lin Wanting. It was very comfortable to listen to. Even Xianghua couldn't help sobbing and gradually calmed down under her comfort. 001 reached out and gently wiped away Xianghua's tears. Well, don't cry. It's time to put on your delicate makeup. 001's words made Xianghua pause. Only then did she realize that she had been nestled in the arms of her enemy. This made her face turn red. She pushed 001 away vigorously and got out of her arms. Who told you to say that? Xianghua said angrily. But she didn't know why her eyes flickered, and she didn't dare to look at 001. In the end, Xianghua secretly glared at 001 and ran away. This made 001 confused. It seemed that the minds of girls on the earth were also difficult to understand. Xianghua made such a big noise before, which alarmed a lot of people. When Liemo heard that it was Lin Wanting's hot spring that had an accident, he rushed out in a hurry. Ah, there's a thief. They didn't expect that someone would take advantage of the chaos to steal things. The girls screamed. Hearing this, 001 quickly ran out, but she didn't expect to run into Liemo head-on. 001 was so focused on catching the thief that he didn't notice anything, but Liemo was so angry that he was about to spit fire. 001 wanted to run past Missouri. She didn't want to stay at all. However, when she passed by Liemo, Liemo suddenly reached out and grabbed her tightly. Not only that, but this was different from usual. Liemo directly hid 001 in his arms. This surprised 001, so she paused for a moment, and was firmly held in his arms by Liemo. However, what greeted 001 was Liemo's exasperated reprimand, which surrounded her like a blanket. Chapter 15. As soon as Liemo saw the look on Lin Wanting's face, he felt blood rush to his head, and a fierce anger came out of nowhere. Lin Wanting was usually very prudent, but sometimes he seemed to be brainless. Especially when Liemo thought that Lin Wanting would run out and be seen by others like this, he felt very uncomfortable. Therefore, Liemo hugged Lin Wanting tightly without thinking about it. He wanted to hide her tightly in his arms and not let others see anything. Liemo's heart was beating fast, especially when he saw Lin Wanting's innocent and unrepentant look. He was about to go crazy because of her. Liemo grasped Lin Wanting's hand tightly. He stared at her fiercely as if he was going to eat her. To be honest, 001 was really frightened by Liemo's fierce look, so he had never been like this before. The handsome and cold young man seemed to have suddenly turned into a hungry wolf. Of course, 001 was not afraid. She was confident that even if Liemo really turned into a wolf, she would not be eaten by him. Therefore 001 was still very calm and said, "Liemo, let go of me." Something happened outside. 001 just calmly described the fact to Liemo, without any emotion. Liemo was so angry with 001 that his eyes were red and he couldn't help sneering. "Lin Wanting, you've succeeded in driving me crazy. You win." When 001 felt that it was inexplicable, Liemo fiercely sealed her mouth after saying this. Liemo said that a long period of suppressed desire and anger had created this passionate and ferocious kiss. His technique was indeed lacking. He was indeed not good at it, but passion was enough to make up for it. He rashly rushed into 001's mouth, curled his tongue around her little tongue and made loud kissing sounds. This voice stimulated Liemo's inner desire and made his body burn hotter and hotter. Liemo became more and more addicted to it. He couldn't help but hug 001 tightly, constantly adjusting his posture and angle to make it easier for him to kiss her. 001's eyes widened in disbelief. She had long been stunned. This human behavior was attributed to reproduction, which meant that Liemo wanted to have children with her. 001. She was frightened at last, and her and Error's dull and thick nerves were aware that the script in their hands was not quite right. Of course, what they were playing was a crush. The target of the mission wanted to have children with her, so how could it be considered a crush? Because of this, 001 was unable to move for a long time, allowing Liemo to do whatever he wanted to her. Liemo held 001's waist tightly with one hand and her neck with the other, pressing her against him. Liemo's mouth wrapped around her pink lips, sucking and kissing them hard, and his breathing became more and more rapid. After a long while, Liemo reluctantly let go of 001 while panting. However, his lips couldn't help but linger on the corner of her lips, and he couldn't help but peck at it. Liemo's eyes were still red from the passion from before, but he was suppressing it with all his might. Just like the surging desire in his body, it couldn't be quenched by a mere kiss. However, Liemo only appeared to be flushed and his breath was hot, but he still retained his sobriety and sanity. Seeing that 001 still hadn't reacted, Liemo's eyes softened, and his heart was full of love. He couldn't help kissing 001's white and smooth face. His lips caressed her skin and he said softly, "Wan, let's be together." Liemo's kiss itself explained a lot of problems, which represented his compromise to Lin Wanting. He finally didn't want to escape anymore, and he didn't want to resist the feeling of Lin Wanting in his heart. It also showed that Liemo was willing to forget the past and start over with Lin Wanting. He had never been a casual person, and this decision was absolutely serious. However, now it was 001 and Error's turn to be brain-dead. They couldn't accept it. How could this be? 001 and Error almost wanted to beat themselves to death. Were they going to fail their mission? They couldn't imagine it. 001 didn't answer for a long time, but Liemo was not in a hurry. He just kissed her slowly and asked her in a sexy and seductive voice, Liemo's last syllable was so seductive that it made one's ears feel like they were about to get pregnant. Liemo held 001 in his arms, stroked her gently and waited patiently for her answer. I think it doesn't matter. Anyway, you want to experience the 7 emotions and 6 desires of the earth. Isn't falling in love with someone also a part of it? What's more, this is before Sun Jiaoyang comes back, so we won't spoil the plot. Anyway, after Sun Jiaoyang comes back, Liemo will definitely break up with you. 001 felt that what Error said was very reasonable, so she nodded calmly to Liemo and said, "Okay." 001's answer made Liemo's heart beat very fast for a moment, and then he was overwhelmed by a burst of ecstasy. Although Liemo had expected that Lin Wanting would not refuse him at all, after all, her love for him was so obvious. But hearing her promise in person, Liemo's face unconsciously showed a bright smile. Liemo couldn't wait to hold 001 tightly in his arms. He couldn't help but bury his cheek in her neck and said in a muffled voice, "That's great." However, after the ferocious joy subsided, Liemo also felt that something was amiss. The faint sense of emptiness couldn't be ignored, but Liemo temporarily suppressed it. Liemo's strong emotions couldn't affect 001, but she felt very confused. After all, she didn't understand why things had developed to this point. She always thought that she had done a good job. Don't think about it. It's not your fault. It must be that the male creatures on the earth have different ideas. 001 also accepted Error's statement. Otherwise, it couldn't be explained at all. After Li Mo and 001 confirmed their relationship, he didn't hide anything anymore. After all, Li Mo had resisted and suppressed himself before. Now that he had admitted it, he naturally didn't care. Li Mo and 001 sat together, snuggling intimately. His hand held 001's small hand. Under the cover of their line of sight, Li Mo couldn't help but gently play with the small hand in his palm. His lips couldn't help but curl up. He had a relaxed and happy smile on his face, which he had never had before. 001 tried to ignore the discomfort in her hand. Error had checked for her. This was the most basic intimacy between men and women on the earth. She shouldn't refuse. 001 turned her head to the outside of the car. At this time they were competing to sit on the bus on the way back. 001 looked at the scenery outside without any focus, while Li Mo held 001's hand intimately and looked at her with a smile. Xianghua sat behind Li Mo and 001. She secretly stared at 001 from time to time. She didn't know why she was like this. She completely ignored Li Mo. Xianghua thought that it was because 001 was her enemy. Last time she went for wool and came home shorn, which made her lose face. Therefore she had to observe her carefully so that she could get back at her next time. Li Mo felt that his biggest gain from this trip to the hot spring was that he had a girlfriend. Li Mo had been holding 001's hand all the time. He didn't expect this kind of intimate emotion to appear in him. Until 001 was sent to the girls' dormitory, Li Mo was still a little reluctant. He kept holding 001's hand and didn't let go. Remember to call me if you need anything. If you don't need anything, remember to miss me. Li Mo's hand gently stroked 001's cheek and whispered to her one by one. Chapter 16. 001 didn't think there was anything wrong. She just felt that after becoming a boyfriend, Li Mo had become more talkative. But 001 still nodded obediently as before, which made Li Mo's eyes soften and his heart soften. Li Mo couldn't help but gently kiss 001's lips. Good girl? Li Mo felt that the sweetness in his heart was about to overflow. He looked at 001's eyes softly as if they could drip water. In fact, the change in Li Mo made 001 marvel. She didn't expect that love would have such a great impact on the men on the earth. Yes, it's fortunate that you promised him. Otherwise the men on the earth are so fragile. I don't know what would have happened. Error said with lingering fear. 001 also agreed. After all, the men on the earth were really very weak in their hearts. Li Mo had been watching 001's back until she disappeared. He reluctantly withdrew his eyes. He couldn't help but lower his head and chuckle, but he really couldn't suppress the joy in his heart. Li Mo never thought that being in love was such a wonderful thing. When he was with Sun Jiayang before, it couldn't be said that Li Mo didn't have feelings for her. He was indeed moved by her. Otherwise he wouldn't have dated her at all. However, Li Mo's heart palpitated a little, so Sun Jiayang felt that he was cold. But now, Li Mo couldn't help but think about the future of himself and Lin Wanting. The secretary school Bell and the business administration school Hunk were together. This matter was easily seen by others and spread all over the campus. Even Li Mo and 001 were not high-profile people, so they didn't make a big deal of it. However, Li Mo and 001 were like Siamese twins. They never separated on campus, and their hands were always holding each other's hands. It seemed that the most lovey-dovey couple would not be so inseparable like these two low-key couples. Li Mo and Lin Wanting's appearance were so outstanding. How could it not attract attention? Li Mo himself was like a faint ink painting, indifferent but stunning. Lin Wanting's scholarly aura was also in line with it. When she stood next to Li Mo, not only did they look very harmonious, but they also intensified the aura, making her unique gentle temperament stand out even more. This was truly a delightful couple. When people passed by, they couldn't help but take a few more glances at them. Li Mo liked to take Lin Wanting for a walk on campus. Even if they didn't say anything, as long as her hand was in his palm and he could smell the fragrance on her body, Li Mo felt very satisfied and happy. During class, the two of them also snuggled up to each other. Because their knowledge reserves were similar, they could discuss many things together and share their opinions. 001 didn't think it was a big deal. Apart from being closer to Li Mo, having intimate contact with him and talking more with him, she didn't feel that her life had changed much after having a boyfriend. Therefore, 001 didn't notice that in class, Li Mo's eyes were getting softer and softer, and the soft smile in his eyes was getting stronger and stronger. This made Li Mo couldn't help but gently insert his fingers into 001's fingers. His fingers were tightly interlocked with hers, as if their hearts were connected. However, such a scene in the eyes of others was really too loving. Since Li Mo and 001 got together, they had to face the scene of them slaughtering each other every day, but the two of them were not aware of it. It was almost the holiday, so Li Mo naturally went back with 001. However, he helped her pack her things. Including what gifts to bring home, Li Mo also bought them with her. It seemed that since he became 001's boyfriend, Li Mo had automatically turned on the considerate function. He was really meticulous and considerate to 001. Anyway, 001 stood by his side obediently and listened to his opinions. Li Mo liked the feeling of picking things with her intimately and whispering intimately. Every time at this time, looking at Lin Wanting's soft and white cheeks standing beside him, he couldn't help kissing her again and again. Lin Wanting would look up at him faintly, but she always smiled softly at him and indulged him, which made Li Mo's heart palpitate for her. When they took the train back this time, Li Mo and 001 were in the same box, which he had specially arranged. Li Mo could only feel at ease when he watched her fall asleep. But during the day, Li Mo would sit on the bed with her in his arms, look at the scenery outside the window and talk with her intimately. Li Mo felt that he wanted to be close to Lin Wanting all the time, so as long as he was with her, there was no distance between them. He clearly didn't like this in the past, but everything happened so naturally. In particular, Lin Wanting indulged him so much. Li Mo felt that it was easy for him to reach out for a yard after taking an inch. He had to warn himself not to act recklessly. Li Mo really couldn't restrain the surging tide in his heart. However, he just gently held 001's hand, put her to his mouth and kissed the back of her hand gently. This made 001 look back at him, but just like before, she didn't feel much about it. However, Li Mo couldn't help smiling a little embarrassedly and reaching out to stroke her hair. At the train station, both parents came to pick them up, but Li Mo still didn't let go of 001's hand. It was obvious that he wanted to make his relationship with Lin Wanting clear in front of the parents of the two families, and he didn't want to hide it from them. Li Mo looked very calm on the surface, but in fact he was also nervous in his heart. After all, this was the first time that he had met the parents. Dad, Mom were back. The parents of both sides also stood together, watching Li Mo come over with Lin Wanting. How could they not know this posture? Li Mo was calm and let family Lin's parents look at him, without the slightest stage fright, but he couldn't help holding 001's hand tightly. Mr. Li and Mrs. Li looked at each other. Their son had a rule since he was a child. Even if he was in a relationship, they wouldn't interfere too much. What's more, Li Mo had just experienced a love wound, and it was good that he could get over it so quickly. However, Lin Wanting's parents did not expect that their daughter would be taken away by a brat so quickly. Although they were very satisfied with Li Mo and wanted him to take care of Lin Wanting, but they did not expect that Li Mo would take good care of her. However, it was not so easy for them to accept that Lin Wanting suddenly became a boyfriend. But the children had just come back after such a long ride, and they should have a good rest. Now was not the time to talk about it. Now that they were back, of course they would go to their own mothers and Li Mo and 001 would be separated. 001 walked towards her parents, but Li Mo was still holding her hand. This made 001 stop and look at him in confusion. Li Mo didn't say anything. He just stared at 001 with his deep eyes, which made people's hearts throb. Of course, 001 didn't feel this way. She just felt that Li Mo's hand seemed to loosen a little, so she turned around and walked forward. But in fact, Li Mo's hand was still reluctant to part with hers, until it gradually left his hand completely. Li Mo's face didn't change, but there was reluctance in the depths of his eyes. Li Mo's little action couldn't be hidden from the parents of the two families, which made Mama Li raise her eyebrows and slightly raise the corners of her mouth. However, family Lin's parents felt complicated when they saw this. They had to admit that their daughter had indeed grown up. 001 went back without a care, leaving Li Mo, who had just separated and began to miss her. Chapter 17. Before returning to his home, Li Mo told his parents that he was dating Lin Wanting and seriously wanted to get married. Li's parents were very open-minded and Lin Wanting was also very good, so they were happy to see it happen. However, it was never so easy to marry someone's daughter, so Li Mo's father and Mama Li both encouraged and supported Li Mo. Father Lin and Mother Lin were not unreasonable people. It was indeed time for their daughter to fall in love when she grew up. They were just worried that she didn't know how to protect herself from being hurt. When Li Mo came to their door with a gift, they didn't embarrass him. Uncle, Aunt, I am Wan Wan's boyfriend, Li Mo. Li Mo formally introduced himself to Father Lin and Mother Lin. His every move was elegant and polite. Naturally, he also wanted to leave a good impression on his future father-in-law and mother-in-law. Yes, in Li Mo's heart he believed that 001 was so. Father Lin and Mother Lin wouldn't believe a verbal promise, and now they didn't need to talk too much with each other. However, seeing that Li Mo's attitude was sincere and his eyes were sincere, they could only observe in secret and let them watch everywhere. Li Mo was well aware of this. He wanted to prove himself to Lin Wanting's parents with his own practical actions. Lin Wanting's parents allowed Li Mo to go upstairs to see her. At this time, 001 was in her bedroom. Li Mo gently opened the door, walked in quietly and hugged her from behind. "You little heartless girl, didn't you know to call me?" Li Mo's hands were tightly wrapped around 001's waist, but his face couldn't help burying deep into her neck, rubbing gently and taking a deep breath of her fragrance. Li Mo didn't think that dating would make him like this, but he was the one who was troubled and tossing and turning, and it was the girl in his arms who caused him to become like this. 001 was not frightened by Li Mo. She knew it as soon as he appeared, so she just let him be. Therefore, 001 was very comfortable in Li Mo's arms, which obviously pleased him. He couldn't help holding 001's hand tightly, and couldn't help kissing 001's white and beautiful neck. Li Mo had long noticed 001's delicate and beautiful neck. Every time he hugged her, it would appear in front of his eyes to seduce him. This time, Li Mo finally couldn't help kissing it gently. This time, it made 001 feel a little itchy. She couldn't help but dodge, but Li Mo couldn't help it. Li Mo rubbed her intimately and said with a smile, "Did you miss me?" Li Mo found that once he fell in love, he was no different from other boys, and even seemed to be more clingy. Naturally, 001 wouldn't call Li Mo for no reason. She couldn't understand the sweetness of love. 001 turned her head from Li Mo's arms to look at him. Her usually cold face was completely soft at this time, and her eyes became gentle. Li Mo rubbed the tip of 001's nose intimately, and his low and attractive voice sounded in her ear. 001's heart didn't fluctuate at all, which should have made the girl in his arms blush and her heart beat faster. "When I think of you, you appear." 001 took Li Mo's hand. Her lowered eyebrows and soft voice brought out a graceful gentleness that made people admire her. This made Li Mo's heart palpitate, and the feeling of admiration gushed out like water. He looked at her. She was in his arms and in front of his eyes, which made his heart itch. However, in the end, Li Mo just restrained himself and kissed 001's forehead. He chuckled and said, "Well, you pass." It was true that Li Mo missed 001, and he was slightly dissatisfied with her. She didn't seem to be in love at all, which was also true. However, those emotions disappeared in 001's soft words. On the contrary, Li Mo was flirted with by 001. Li Mo let go of 001 reluctantly, took her hand and looked around her boudoir. This was the first time that Li Mo had appeared in a girl's room, and it was his girlfriend, which made Li Mo's heart feel a little strange. The decoration here was delicate and soft, just like the person Lin Wanting. In particular, it was full of the fragrance of Lin Wanting, which made him completely occupied and made his heart become moist and soft. Li Mo couldn't help holding 001's hand tightly. He suddenly had a desire in his heart. He wanted his smell to fill this room, and he wanted his things to invade the territory of Lin Wanting. In fact, this was just a male's possessiveness. He wanted to mark his own partner. "What did you do at home alone during the holidays?" Li Mo turned around and reached out to gently pull the hair on 001's cheek behind her ear. 001 looked up and could see the young man's tender and sweet eyes, which was very intoxicating. The atmosphere in the room was just right, soft and warm. 001 raised his hand and handed a book to Li Mo. "I'm reading this." Li Mo took it and raised his eyebrows. "Shakespeare?" This made Li Mo's heart ripple and he couldn't help but smile happily. "Are you going to write a love poem for me?" Li Mo looked at 001 playfully. Perhaps all boys had this kind of bad taste to bully the girl they liked. 001 just wanted to make herself feel more in love. She also wanted to know a little about this, so she read this book under Error's suggestion. "Do you want it?" 001 asked calmly. If Liemo wanted it, she could satisfy him. After all, a good girlfriend should satisfy her boyfriend's requirements. Liemo couldn't help but be slightly startled. The voice fell gently on his heart, but it could bring a tickle. If I say yes, will you write it for me? 001 nodded without hesitation, which made Liemo couldn't help but chuckle happily. When I think of my beloved, my heart is filled with boundless wealth. For the sake of my love for you, I will fight against time with all my might. Liemo stared at 001 with his affectionate eyes, and his gentle voice read 2 sentences from Shakespeare's sonnets to her. 001 looked up at him, which made Liemo's heart tremble, and turbulent feelings hit him like a wave. However, Liemo's face looked very calm, but his eyes were slightly dark and deep. If thinking of me makes you sad, I'd rather forget in your sweet thoughts. Liemo approached 001 step by step, and he continued to recite the heart-wrenching love poem. Liemo's breathing became more and more rapid, and his eyes were locked on 001. He couldn't suppress his desire, which made him involuntarily get closer to Lin Wanting. Chapter 18. 1-1. Hot breath sprayed on 001's skin, and Liemo's voice, full of desire and repression, rang in her ears. 001 was very calm. As soon as Liemo showed any abnormalities, she scanned his body data. TSK, his hormone secretion is too strong, and his male hormones are also very active. To put it simply, he is in heat and wants to have sex with you, right? 001 confirmed Error's statement. Yes, but you know, the reproduction method on planet Araga is different from that on Earth. So, you can let Liemo do it. It's a good opportunity to experience it. 001 felt that what Error said made sense, so she let Liemo do what he wanted and didn't resist. This made Liemo even more excited, and he couldn't help but tighten his grip on 001's hand. However, he had to restrain himself with difficulty because he couldn't bear to hurt Lin Wanting. Liemo took a deep breath. He couldn't help but lean down and kiss 001. His lips were so hot that 001's pink lips couldn't help but tremble slightly. However, this stimulated Liemo even more, making him kiss her even more tightly, not letting her escape. The ambiguous and loud wet sound rang in the room, making Liemo's heart get hotter and hotter, and that kind of impulse surged wantonly in his body. Liemo hooked 001's small tongue, not letting go of any part of her small mouth. Obviously, Liemo was very inexperienced before, but now he was very skilled at teasing 001. Liemo swallowed the sweet saliva that belonged to 001, and then passed his own into her small mouth. In the past, he couldn't understand the overly intimate behavior of exchanging liquids, but now it made his heart throb. There was even a lot of liquid that 001 didn't have time to swallow, and it overflowed along the corners of her lips. This made Liemo's kiss gentle, and he lovingly licked the water stains on the corners of her lips. When he was aroused, he unconsciously moved his body with 001 in his arms and fell onto her big bed. Liemo couldn't help but groan because of the sudden intimate contact with her soft body. He couldn't bear to let go of 001, so he hugged her tightly and kept kissing her. His hands couldn't help but move. Even though Liemo's body ached from thinking about it, he knew he couldn't do it. However, this did not mean that he could not do anything. He could still let her experience the beauty of lust. 001 is defeated by Liemo's fingers, lips, and tongue. Her eyes are misty and her face is flushed. She indulges herself in the pleasure of her body. The beautiful scenery presented by 001 in front of him, which was caused by himself, also made Liemo more and more addicted, trying his best to please her. 001 slumped on the big bed. Lust was really terrible. It drained all the strength in her body, but her limbs were trembling with joy. Liemo fell on 001 and hugged her tightly. His face was deeply buried in 001's neck. Liemo couldn't help rubbing against 001's body. His voice was almost pleading and acting coquettishly, "Wan, help me." In fact, although it was not obvious, Liemo was indeed shy. However, he buried his face in 001's shoulder, so no one could see his red face. The room was filled with the sweet smell of 001, which was emitted from her body. Just now, Liemo's trembling fingers touched the most delicate part of 001's body, which made him yearn for it. He tasted the sweet taste, and his fingers were covered with the evidence of her passion for him. 001's clothes were disheveled, and her blouse had been completely opened. Her underwear was thrown on top of her head, and her skirt was also piled up. However, her wet underwear was hanging on her feet. At this time, 001 was completely obedient to Li Mo, letting him lead her hand and begin to move. Soon, the room was also filled with the smell of Li Mo, which filled Li Mo's heart with great satisfaction and joy. Li Mo rubbed 001's face affectionately, and his heart was as soft as warm water. Wan, my Wan. Li Mo held 001 in his arms and was reluctant to leave her. However, he also understood the priorities of the matter. He couldn't stay in Lin Wanting's room for a long time. Therefore, Li Mo had to get up reluctantly. Seeing that Lin Wanting had been tortured by him, his body was excited again. Li Mo's cheeks and ears were red, and his eyes were a little evasive, not daring to look at 001. Li Mo's breathing was rapid, and he began to help 001 put on her clothes with trembling hands. However, 001's underwear was completely useless. He needed to change it. Seeing how wet it was, Li Mo put it under his nose and sniffed it for some reason. An idea flashed through Li Mo's mind. He wanted to lick it. However, Li Mo quickly came to his senses. Just now, he really did seem like a pervert, but he really did have that kind of intense desire. Thinking of the situation that caused this situation, Li Mo almost had a nosebleed, and he quickly covered his nose. Li Mo tried to calm himself down. He turned around and went to 001's wardrobe to get a new pair of underwear for her. As soon as Li Mo saw her private, intimate things, the fragrance of her body wafted over, causing Li Mo's face to turn red again, and his heart to beat uncontrollably. After Li Mo took care of 001 in front of the mirror, he couldn't help hugging her from behind and kissing her hair gently. Wan, let's get engaged, 001. 001 was dumbfounded, and so was the companion error. Did all human relationships progress so quickly? She felt that she had just agreed to date Li Mo, and now he wanted to get engaged to her? Li Mo's heart was full of tenderness. He thought that since he and Lin Wanting were already like this, of course he should give her an explanation. And in fact, Li Mo really couldn't wait to have Lin Wanting. It was not enough to just be her boyfriend. He wanted to settle things with her as soon as possible. 001's eyelashes fluttered rapidly. She felt that she had encountered the biggest crisis since she carried out her mission. What's wrong with agreeing to him? The vows on this earth are not as unbreakable as those on planet Araga. The vows on earth are made to be broken. What? Is that so? 001 was shocked. A contract like an engagement once established on planet Araga could not be reneged, which was why 001 was so nervous. However, after hearing Error's introduction of the situation on Earth, she couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. This was also like the previous breakup, so 001 nodded in agreement without any burden. Therefore, 001 nodded gently in Li Mo's arms. This made Li Mo ecstatic, and his face could no longer remain calm. He was a calm and cold person, but he couldn't help but walk around her room several times with 001 in his arms. Of course, Li Mo knew that this matter still required the consent of both parents. He had to leave a good impression on his future parents-in-law. Li Mo put 001 down, but he still held her up with both hands and kissed her heavily. Chapter 19. This was really a scene that moved people to tears of joy, but 001 didn't understand and didn't feel anything. Moreover, as a warrior, she had always had a keen intuition. Although Error had been comforting her, 001 already had a very bad feeling. Originally, they just wanted to break up, but now, before they even separated, it became a cancellation of the engagement. Although Error said that the engagement on Earth did not have the effect of a vow on planet Araga, and it was very childish, 001 also knew that at least it was more binding than a boyfriend and a girlfriend. However, now, in the face of this kind of relationship task, 001 was really a novice. She could only take it one step at a time. Li Mo carefully printed a kiss on 001's hair, and looked at her as if he was looking at a treasure. For Li Mo, the person in his arms was his own treasure, and he wanted to spend a lifetime with her. Father Lin's mother Lin had just accepted Li Mo as Lin Wanting's boyfriend, but now he immediately asked to be engaged to their daughter. Lin Fu's mother Lin, although they were very happy that Li Mo was serious about their daughter, they still thought that it was too fast. Marriage was not a child's play. If it weren't for the fact that they weren't at the age of marriage at all, Li Mo wanted to get married with 001 directly. Fortunately, 001 didn't know Li Mo's true thoughts. Otherwise she would really be scared to death by him. However, even so, 001 was now in a fog. However, Li Mo was very determined, and his attitude was very sincere. Her daughter did not object. There was nothing wrong with Liemo for the time being. Father Lin's mother Lin was worried that they were young and did not understand what marriage was. They were also worried that Liemo would change in the future and would not be good for their daughter. However, fortunately it was only an engagement. There was a buffer period so they could take a closer look at Liemo. If it really didn't work out, it wasn't a big deal to cancel the engagement. It wouldn't have a big impact on his daughter. Family Lin used the excuse that Liemo and Lin Wanting were young and still students as an excuse, so the engagement ceremony wasn't a big event. The two families just sat together and had a simple meal. Family Lin's parents loved their daughter, and both Liemo and his parents understood that. They understood that the real test would come after the engagement. If they could get married, Family Lin's parents would definitely hold a big party. Anyway, 001 didn't understand any of this at all, and she didn't have any objections. Everything was left to them. There was only one thing that 001 personally participated in, which was to choose an engagement ring with Liemo. Which one do you like? Liemo and 001 intertwined their fingers. He hugged her and leaned against the jewelry counter. He turned his head and asked 001 gently. This was the engagement ring that Liemo bought for them with his own money. He and several of his roommates had already started a company. Now the prototype had just taken shape and he still had some money in his hands. 001 looked at the dazzling ring in the counter. She didn't have the instinct of a female on the earth. These things looked the same to her. However, 001 had completely copied the data of Lin Wanting. She knew what her aesthetic should be. So 001 pointed to a simple and classic ring and said, "This one." Liemo asked the saleswoman to take it out for them. Liemo and Lin Wanting were really eye-catching in this store. It was not only because they were a talented man and a beautiful woman, but also because they were too young. However, both of them were unaware of it. Liemo took it in his hand and gently put it on 001's middle finger for her. He circled her. This was his mark. This thought made Liemo's heart skip a beat. He couldn't help lowering his head and kissing 001's finger, restraining his surging feelings. "Wan, we will be good for the rest of our lives." When Liemo bowed his head in front of 001, his long eyelashes fluttered, and a sincere sigh overflowed from his mouth. The word forever made 001's heart skip a beat. The lifespan of the creatures on planet Araga was too long compared to that of humans on the Earth. However, the young man in front of her made a promise to her. 001 didn't know much about human beings, but from Lin Wanting's memory, she also knew what kind of person the young man in front of her was. This made 001's heart suddenly feel a little heavy. She was a little helpless. 001 had never been confused or wavered when carrying out a task. She was very decisive. However, when it came to the unknown field that she didn't understand, she didn't know what to do. "Very beautiful." Liemo put 001's hand in his palm and gently stroked it. He looked at 001 with tenderness in his eyes. Although Liemo had already helped 001 put it on once when they were trying on the ring, Liemo's hand still couldn't help but tremble when he actually got engaged to her in front of the parents of both families. Of course, Liemo's face was still as calm as before, but now one could see the obvious joy in it. Only 001, who was close to him, could notice that he was trembling. 001 didn't understand this kind of emotion in human males, but she instinctively wanted to help him calm down. 001 held Liemo's hand, which made Liemo's eyes shine brightly, but miraculously, he also calmed down. Liemo stared deeply at 001 and helped her put on the ring, just like in the jewelry store before. However, 001 obviously felt that the atmosphere and Liemo's deep feelings were more precious than before. Liemo's thousands of words were hidden in his eyes. He didn't say them out loud, but he had already repeated them thousands of times in his heart. When 001 helped Liemo put on the ring, her face was still as gentle as usual. For her, it was really just a ceremony. 001 clearly understood the meaning of this ceremony, but she couldn't feel emotions. However, when 001 put the ring on him, Liemo couldn't help holding his breath. His eyes fell on 001 and stared at her without blinking. His heart couldn't help but tremble for the girl in front of him. The rings they wore on each other's hands were like a rope that tied their hearts together. Such an inseparable relationship made Liemo's heart tremble for a while, but his whole body was filled with joy that couldn't be ignored. After 001 put the ring on his finger, Liemo couldn't restrain himself anymore. He took a step forward, held 001's face and began to kiss her passionately. Li Mo's behavior was beyond everyone's expectation. He actually kissed 001 in front of the parents of the two families. 001's eyes widened in disbelief, but Li Mo took the opportunity to curl her little tongue and suck it. Father Lin couldn't help getting up and wanting to kill this little bastard who took advantage of his daughter in front of him. It was Mother Lin who held him down and asked him to calm down. After all, now Li Mo was his daughter's legitimate fiancé. As the father-in-law, he couldn't go too far. However, Mrs. Li covered her mouth and started to snicker. She looked at Mr. Li and praised their son in their hearts for doing a good job. Chapter 20. Even when Sun Jiaoyang was abroad, she had never stopped thinking about Li Mo. After all, he was the young man she liked so much. He was the first love that she had tried her best to like and pursue. In this relationship, Sun Jiaoyang did put in more effort than Li Mo. Moreover, she also thought that the one who fell in love first would be the loser. Even if she was beautiful and charming, smiled brightly at Li Mo, and was generous and confident in front of others, she felt inferior in this relationship. And Li Mo was also in love for the first time. He was also a novice, and there were many things that he couldn't handle well in relationships. In the end, Li Mo was still too young, but it couldn't be denied that he was sincere when he was dating Sun Jiaoyang. When Sun Jiaoyang was pursuing Li Mo, she thought that as long as he liked her, she wouldn't care about anything else. But as a young girl, and a young lady who had been pampered since she was young, what if she would always be rational and not ask for anything in return? After Sun Jiaoyang got him, she became more and more greedy and more dissatisfied. She began to worry about her gains and losses in this relationship, and at the same time she felt more and more uncomfortable. Sun Jiaoyang was a dignified young lady. In order to not only put down her pride, she did many things that she would never do. She had gone through a lot of trouble to move him. Before Li Mo accepted her, Sun Jiaoyang enjoyed it and thought it was sweet. But after becoming Li Mo's girlfriend, Sun Jiaoyang felt that she was not worth it. Which boyfriend didn't treat his girlfriend like the palm of his hand? Why was it that Li Mo wasn't warm enough to her? Not to mention that there were many girls who couldn't compare to her at all. Why didn't she receive the same treatment? Sun Jiaoyang wanted Li Mo to regret. He wanted to let Li Mo know that he could live without him. Moreover, her childhood sweetheart who was plotting against her, was sowing discord between them. In a fit of anger, Sun Jiaoyang impulsively told Li Mo that she wanted to break up with him and go abroad. In fact, after going abroad, Sun Jiaoyang's mind calmed down and she regretted it. However, for the sake of her pride, she couldn't bring herself to go back to China to look for Li Mo. Sun Jiaoyang thought that as long as Li Mo chased after her, she would go back with him. However, she waited and waited, but Li Mo still did not come. This made Sun Jiaoyang disheartened. In her heart, she had truly broken up with Li Mo. She would still try to get in touch with other boys. After Li Mo, Sun Jiaoyang also dated a few other men. They were all good-looking and capable. However, Sun Jiaoyang realized that she couldn't forget Li Mo. Until she received a phone call from Xianghua. This gave Sun Jiaoyang an excuse to go back to China. Because of this phone call, Sun Jiaoyang went back to China 5 years earlier than the plot. After Xianghua hung up the phone, she looked at the dark night outside the window and let out a deep sigh. She didn't know whether what she did was right or wrong. However, she knew very well that she didn't want to watch Li Mo and Lin wanting be together. In particular, Li Mo and she were getting closer and closer, and the two of them were even engaged. When Xianghua saw the rings on Li Mo and Lin Wanting's hands, she couldn't help but investigate them. After knowing the existence of Sun Jiaoyang, she immediately took action. Speaking of which, Xianghua knew Sun Jiaoyang. After all, they were both rich young ladies in the same circle. However, they were often compared with each other. In fact, they didn't really get along. But now, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. There was still a long time before the holiday. After Li Mo and 001 got engaged, they were forbidden to contact each other for a period of time. Seeing Li Mo's fierce attitude at the engagement party, Father Lin and Mother Lin were worried that he would do something out of line after the engagement. Lin Wanting was still young. Besides, they were still studying. It would be bad if anything happened at this time. After all, 001 had become his fiancé. Li Mo didn't want to offend his father-in-law too much. Even if they couldn't see each other, Li Mo and 001 could still call each other and video call each other. At the beginning, Li Mo was really happy. He just wanted to watch 001 to relieve his longing and see if she was okay. Li Mo would video call 001 every night and whisper his love words to her, which made him very happy. However, in the end it was a little different. Because one day when 001 just came out of the shower to video call Liamo, the water drops on her body were not dry, and her nightdress hung loosely on her body. Not only was she exposed but she was also wet and seductive. This made Liamo, who was peeping on the other side of the video call, very excited. Liamo couldn't help but think back to that time in the school dormitory. He almost had a nosebleed again. This made Liamo's breathing become rapid, and his body couldn't help but have a reaction. Looking at 001 in the video, Liamo quietly put his hands under his body, and his face became redder and redder. Liamo's eyes became misty, and he almost couldn't help moaning. "Baby, take off your clothes, okay?" Liamo coaxed 001. Even the young man, who was like an ink and wash painting, was no different from other men at this time. 001 looked at Liamo in the video carefully. According to the data she scanned, she naturally knew what Liamo was doing. But since she was his fiancée, 001 felt that she had the obligation to help him in this regard. Therefore, she took off her clothes in front of Liamo in the video and followed his instructions. Although he couldn't actually touch 001, it was also interesting, which made Liamo very excited both mentally and physically. Until Liamo stopped panting, he couldn't wait to hug 001 and kiss her hard, but she was on the other side of the video call. Liamo reached out his hand and touched the screen of his mobile phone reluctantly, as if he was touching 001. He still had some lust left in him. His lustful eyes stared deeply at 001. Even his words seemed to carry a burning desire. "Baby, I love you." Liamo bowed his head and kissed the figure of 001 on the mobile phone, but his words were so sincere. Even if 001 didn't understand feelings, she couldn't help but feel a little shocked at this time. However, at this time, Liamo's ears were red, and his eyes were a little evasive. "Wan, put on your clothes. Don't catch a cold." It was very difficult for Liamo to say this sentence. This time, his shyness was obvious. Liamo didn't expect that he would be so bold. It seemed that men were really lustful. Ever since that time, things like this had happened frequently, allowing Liamo to quench his thirst for 001. Until Father Lin and Mother Lin stopped stopping him, Liamo immediately took 001 to the beach to play. At this time, Sun Jiaoyang also returned to China, and she went directly to Liamo's residence. All the things to play on the beach were prepared by Liamo, including 001's swimsuit. When 001 came out, Liamo looked very calm. He took her hand and walked forward. Although he had seen what he shouldn't have seen, it didn't mean that 001's appearance was not attractive to him. Chapter 21. Liamo couldn't lose his composure. He had to suppress the impulse in his heart and body. He couldn't show it in front of Lin Wanting. Liamo felt that he was too inferior to burn himself because of Lin Wanting s body. Moreover, it wasn't like he hadn't seen it before. However, no matter which time, Liamo couldn't control himself. Therefore this time, Liamo suppressed himself and wanted to have fun with Lin Wanting. Liamo specially chose a place with fewer people. After all, he didn't want 001's alluring appearance to be seen by too many people. It was only then that Liamo realized that his possessiveness was so strong. He really wanted to hide Lin Wanting and only let himself see it. Even so, there were still some gazes that fell on 001 and him, which made Liamo frown. He stood in front of 001 without a trace. On the other hand, 001 didn't notice this at all. Her attention was all on the sea. Her eyes were bright and she looked eager to try. Liamo was originally a little unhappy after seeing 001's appearance. He couldn't help but smile. The aura on Liamo's body softened. He caressed 001's soft hair lovingly. "You want to play? Then let /s go." Liamo pulled 001 into the water. Lin Wanting looked gentle, but in reality she was a good swimmer. This made Liamo feel a little disappointed and regretful. He had wanted to teach Lin Wanting. In the water, he held her intimately or hugged her, taught her every move. This was indeed such an ambiguous scene that made one's imagination run wild. Liamo had to admit that he had thought of something discordant. However, this also made Liamo heave a sigh of relief. After all, he wasn't sure if he could control himself when the time came. He was afraid that it would get out of hand. Liamo and 001 were very close to each other in the water. After swimming for a while, Liamo took her up. They had returned to the outdoor courtyard. Li Mo and 001 were sitting on a reclining chair. He was hugging her to enjoy the cool air. Li Mo and 001 didn't change out of their swimsuits. They were only wearing a bath towel. The gazebo was not big. Li Mo and 001 were squeezed together, so naturally, their bodies were tightly pressed together. There was a plate of cold fruit next to the chair. Li Mo picked up a piece of sweet watermelon and fed it to 001. 001 squinted her eyes in pleasure. She returned the favor and peeled a grape for Li Mo as well. The juice stuck to 001's fingers, and her jade-like fingers became more and more crystal clear. Li Mo's eyes darkened. He lowered his head and sucked the grape, along with 001's finger. Li Mo licked the juice off 001's hand, and then he got up reluctantly. It's very sweet, Li Mo said while looking at 001. She didn't know whether he was talking about 001 or grapes. His fiancée, who should have been blushing and her heart beating fast, didn't feel anything. She just felt that her hand was a little sticky. However, Li Mo's breathing became rapid because of this action. Originally, they were wearing very little clothes and they were close to each other, so their skin rubbed against each other inadvertently. Not to mention that Li Mo had just made such a provocative move, which was simply playing with fire. Li Mo stood up, but his body was pressing down on 001. His voice was husky, sexy, and full of danger. Wan. Li Mo called 001 softly and unconsciously pressed closer to her. 001 looked up at Li Mo. Was he in heat again? 001 thought of the taste of passion and desire last time, and she felt that it would be good to experience it again. Therefore, 001 reached out and hugged Li Mo, which made Li Mo's body tremble. Li Mo looked at 001's eyes, which were frighteningly red, but he tried his best to restrain himself and barely kept a trace of sobriety. He said to 001 with difficulty, Wan, if you don't want to, then push me away. Then Li Mo leaned over and pressed his body against 001. He kept kissing her. The hot kisses were all over her skin, and Li Mo's hands also began to caress her randomly. The air became hotter and hotter. The seawater on Li Mo and 001 seemed to have become hot sweat, and the air began to emit the smell of passion and desire. Li Mo buried his head in 001's neck. He stirred her body with one hand, and his teeth bit the swimsuit strap on 001's neck with difficulty. Wan, condom, help me put it on. Li Mo breathed heavily in 001's ear. 001 was also deeply immersed in it, and her eyes could no longer keep clear. However, at this critical moment, a person broke in. Li Mo, I'm here to see you. A cheerful female voice appeared in the ears of Li Mo and 001, accompanied by the sound of her high heels. The person who came was Sun Jiaoyang. She had made up her mind to put down her pride and start over with Li Mo. After Sun Jiaoyang arrived at the place where Li Mo's home was located, she inquired about his whereabouts and came to reconcile with him excitedly. Sun Jiaoyang was still very confident about this. After all, before they were in a relationship and had no feelings for each other, she had pursued Li Mo. Not to mention that what she wanted to do now was to rekindle their old love. At worst, she would do what she had done before. Sun Jiaoyang was just not reconciled to the fact that Li Mo didn't like her as much as she liked him. However, after experiencing so many things abroad and having tried other men, Sun Jiaoyang found that the man she couldn't let go of the most was still him. In this case, she would be with him again. After all, he liked her. Moreover, Li Mo only liked her and didn't like other girls. He was devoted to her. Sun Jiaoyang was even more sure that Li Mo would not cheat on her with his character. However, Sun Jiaoyang didn't expect that her confident road to reconciliation would be hit head-on. Just like the other men she had dated abroad, Sun Jiaoyang had thought about whether there would be other women around Li Mo, who was so outstanding. However, because Sun Jiaoyang knew Li Mo well, he was so cold. It was not easy for him to have her. How could he be close to other women? Even when she went to the school to ask about Li Mo, she only heard about Lin Wanting. She didn't take it to heart. Lin Wanting had a crush on Li Mo in high school. She even liked him before she liked Li Mo. If they could be together, they would have been together a long time ago. Lin Wanting had a good appearance and temperament, but Li Mo didn't have any impression of her. She didn't dare to show any feelings in front of Li Mo. Even when they returned to Liemo/S hometown, and people in the neighborhood knew that Liemo and Lin Wanting were engaged, Sun Jiaoyang didn't believe it. She thought it was just a rumor. Maybe when I first got together with Liemo. Because of this, Sun Jiaoyang would still feel a sense of danger and view Lin Wanting as his opponent. But after that, Sun Jiaoyang completely disregarded Lin Wanting. This was because she knew what kind of personality Liemo had and what kind of personality Lin Wanting had. It was impossible for the two of them to be together. But at this moment, what did she see? Her impression of Liemo was that he treated his girlfriend coldly and didn't have much passion when they were together. Even when they kissed, it was just a simple touch. He was on top of Lin Wanting, kissing and caressing her passionately. His eyes, his body, all of them spoke of his intense desire for her. Sun Jiaoyang had never seen Liemo like this. At this moment, this cold youth was completely crazy for the girl beneath him. This Liemo was very charming and sexy. It made people salivate uncontrollably. However, this was undoubtedly a huge blow to Sun Jiaoyang. He couldn't take it and took a few steps back. The moment Sun Jiaoyang appeared, Liemo immediately woke up. He quickly wrapped 001 up so that she wouldn't reveal anything. Liemo/S face was gloomy. He frowned and looked at Sun Jiaoyang. Liemo/S aura was very scary. Sun Jiaoyang had never faced him like this before. It scared her. Liemo was disturbed at a critical moment. How could he be nice to the person who came? When he saw that the person was actually Sun Jiaoyang, he was indeed surprised for a moment. However, the melancholy and nostalgia that old lovers should have when they reunited disappeared because of this awkward situation. Liemo couldn't think too much at this moment. He was indeed sighing that Sun Jiaoyang had appeared at a bad time. Liemo hugged 001 tightly in his arms. He said to Sun Jiaoyang unhappily, "Why are you here? No outsider should /V entered this place." Sun Jiaoyang must have used some special methods. Liemo felt even more unhappy when he thought about how he had been disturbed. However, Sun Jiaoyang didn't expect that her reunion with Liemo would be like this. He gave her such a big shock. Sun Jiaoyang couldn't react for a while after hearing Liemo/S angry question. Liemo/S expression became more and more impatient. Liemo had always been a gentleman to girls, even though he had a cold personality. Not to mention that Sun Jiaoyang was his ex-girlfriend, although he didn't think about her anymore. No matter why they separated, who was right and who was wrong, at least they were in a good mood when they were together. Therefore, Liemo wouldn't deny Sun Jiaoyang and his past feelings. However, in this situation, Liemo was not in a good mood. 001 hid in Liemo/S arms and didn't feel anything. However, in fact, Sun Jiaoyang looked like a wife who was caught in the act. She looked at this scene in disbelief. It was precisely because of this that Liemo became more and more irritated. It was not like this, but Sun Jiaoyang/S expression and behavior pushed things into a more awkward situation. Moreover, the person Liemo loved now was 001. He couldn't ignore her opinion. She knew that he was in a relationship with Sun Jiaoyang. In this case, Liemo also felt that he should explain it to 001. Chapter 22. Therefore, Liemo hugged 001 tightly. He calmed himself down and looked at Sun Jiaoyang calmly and said, "Can you go out first and let us tidy up?" Liemo was not rude to Sun Jiaoyang. He returned to his usual coldness and politeness towards others. However, it was precisely because of Liemo's attitude that Sun Jiaoyang felt more and more uncomfortable. Was she someone else? Why did Liemo treat her the same as he treated other people before? However, after Sun Jiaoyang recovered from her initial shock, she gradually came back to her senses. No matter how uncomfortable she felt at this time, although she was a willful and self-centered young lady, she still had the proper etiquette. Especially in front of Liemo and Lin Wanting, Sun Jiaoyang did not want to embarrass herself. Therefore, she also returned to her usual state. She straightened her back and went out. When Liemo and Lin Wanting were done packing, they should give her an explanation. Why did they take advantage of her when she was abroad? In Sun Jiaoyang's heart, Liemo had let her down. He should have waited for her and not gotten another girlfriend when she was abroad. To Sun Jiaoyang this was a betrayal. He was a scumbag and Lin Wanting was a mistress who took advantage of the situation. Liemo heaved a sigh of relief and stood up slightly. He looked down at the quiet girl in his arms. The obedient 001's gaze softened. This treatment was completely different from Sun Jiaoyang's attitude. She saw this. She would probably explode in anger. To Liemo, Sun Jiaoyang was already a thing of the past. He had always been calm and rational. He would not be confused. He would not be unaware of what was important to him now. Liemo gently caressed 001's face and asked softly, "I'm sorry. Were you scared?" 001 shook his head and slightly moved to fasten his clothes that had been untied by Liemo. Her indifferent attitude made Liemo feel suffocated, but he was also confused by her actions. The appearance of 001 wearing clothes was really attractive, especially when Liemo thought of the situation where he had just wantonly invaded her. If it weren't for the wrong timing and place, Liemo really wanted to press her down and have a good time. 001 after all, she really wanted to experience what it was like to have sex with someone else. It seemed that there would be no more chances in the future. After all, Sun Jiaoyang was back and she and Liemo would break up. Liemo couldn't help but put his hand on 001's shoulder and gently stroked it. He lowered his head and kissed it. "Wan, you are the only one in my heart." This was a rare explanation for Liemo. He looked straight at 001, but his ears were already red. Liemo looked very calm, but under the cold appearance of this young man was a burning heart. There was a strong passion in the depths of his eyes. Obviously, 001 couldn't feel these feelings. She nodded calmly. She heard it all, but it didn't enter her heart at all. Anyway, 001 only recognized one thing and she just waited to break up. 001 didn't have the three views of the earth. He wouldn't think that this was a cheating or a scumbag. This made Liemo frown slightly. He felt a little uneasy. But in the end he didn't say anything. He just held 001's hand tightly and took him out to see Sun Jiaoyang. Sun Jiaoyang looked at the couple standing side by side, and the evil fire in her heart couldn't be suppressed anymore. She held her hand tightly, repeatedly reminding herself not to be angry, to be calm, and not to lose her composure. "Liemo, what do you mean by this?" Sun Jiaoyang always liked to take the initiative. Therefore, when Liemo and 001 stood in front of her, she asked first. "As you can see, I am with Wan, and she is my fiancée." Liemo emphasized this point to Sun Jiaoyang. He had always been smart, especially at this time when he didn't like Sun Jiaoyang anymore. He could see the problem more clearly. Sun Jiaoyang didn't have any bad intentions. She was just a spoiled young lady who wanted everything to go according to her wishes. To put it bluntly, she didn't care so much about other people's feelings and she was a little selfish. This time she came back straight for him. Liemo thought that she must be regretting it. If he didn't have Lin Wanting by his side, he and Sun Jiaoyang might be able to get back together after a little more time. After all, they were each other's first love, and there was a foundation for their feelings. Before he fell in love with Lin Wanting, he really couldn't forget her. But now it was all in the past for Liemo. Moreover, it was Sun Jiaoyang who let go first. He didn't want to talk about the right and wrong of this relationship anymore. He just hoped that they could wish each other well. After all, they were the people he liked. However, Liemo knew Sun Jiaoyang very well. Looking at his current attitude, he also understood that his idea was probably an extravagant hope. However, Liemo could only try his best to explain to Sun Jiaoyang, and try to make her accept it. Liemo's words were too direct for Sun Jiaoyang and she couldn't accept it. But Liemo was such a person. Since he had made up his mind and there was someone in his heart, he wouldn't give others hope. Perhaps this was a little cruel to the women who liked him. Just like Lin Wanting before, even though she had a crush on him for 6 years and he was well aware of it, he never gave her a chance to get close to him. He fiancé? How long has it been? You're really fast. Sun Jiaoyang sneered at Liemo. Liemo accepted them one by one. In the eyes of others, his speed might be very fast. He had only broken up with Sun Jiaoyang for more than a year, and not only did he get together with another girl but he also got engaged. But Liemo didn't need to say much to others. It was better for him to know his own affairs in his heart. Only Lin Wanting was what he needed to care about. Therefore, Liemo let Sun Jiaoyang vent her anger in silence, just like when they were together in the past. He always accepted her questions and accusations in silence, which made Sun Jiaoyang unable to bear it in the end. Liemo's behavior reminded Sun Jiaoyang of the past, and she became even angrier. "Liemo, you've never liked me, right? Because I threw myself at you, you were just playing with me. Now that you've met your true love, I'm nothing in the past, am I right?" Sun Jiaoyang couldn't control herself anymore. She was almost hysterical in front of Liemo. However, even so, this young lady was still so beautiful that it made people feel sorry for her. Liemo protected 001 behind him. He really shouldn't let her face such a situation. Liemo knew Lin Wanting's personality very well. She was such a gentle and quiet person, so he was afraid that she would be at a loss. However, Liemo also took this opportunity to make things clear to the two girls in front of him. I was with you in the past because I really liked you. Otherwise I would never date you. Liemo's words were powerful, but he was afraid that 001 would be angry, so he held her hand tighter and interlocked their fingers. Liemo's words calmed Sun Jiaoyang down a little. He didn't want to see the girl he used to like become crazy because of him. Liemo always hoped that Sun Jiaoyang could be fine. In fact, Sun Jiaoyang also knew that what Liemo said was the truth. How could she not know what kind of person he was? Otherwise, why would she like him so much? It was because of his good qualities. Sun Jiaoyang said that just to vent the pain in her heart. However, she didn't expect that Liemo would explain to her seriously and give her affirmation in front of his current girlfriend. This moved Sun Jiaoyang's heart even more, and she couldn't let go of Liemo. In Sun Jiaoyang's circle, she had never seen such a boy. There was no lack of people with outstanding looks and abilities, but what Sun Jiaoyang saw was that they doted on their women to the extreme, as if they were precious treasures. Therefore, when Liemo didn't treat her like that, Sun Jiaoyang would be very disappointed. But how could she have forgotten that none of them had only had one girlfriend? Even the man with the least love history would do anything to his ex in order to please his current girlfriend and prove that he really loved her. At that time, although Sun Jiaoyang felt that their means were a bit cruel, she felt touched. After all, there was a man who loved a woman so much. But now, Sun Jiaoyang understood that she was probably kicked in the head by a donkey at that time. Weren't they beautiful when they were together? After they separated, he could deal with his ex by hook or by crook. This man's character was low to begin with. This person was really scary. However, Liemo was never such a person. Although he looked at her coldly, there was no disgust or disdain in his eyes. Instead, it was very sincere. After you went abroad, I was in pain and missed you very much, but I finally got over it. Maybe I made a lot of mistakes between us, but it's meaningless to talk about it now. I have someone I want to spend the rest of my life with. Then Liemo held 001's hand up and gestured to Sun Jiaoyang to see. Then he hugged her to his side. I hope you can find her too. I will bless you, Liemo said to Sun Jiaoyang sincerely. This made Sun Jiaoyang's eyes turn red. She wanted to cry, but she held it back. Why couldn't that person be him? Why did they miss it so much? Sun Jiaoyang didn't want to give up. However, 001 was confused. It blinked its eyes mechanically and asked Error, I feel that something is wrong. Did I misunderstand Liemo? After all, the culture on Earth is very profound. But according to Lin Wanting's memory, he seems to want to break up with Sun Jiaoyang. Error? Chapter 23. The Error would never have thought that things would turn out like this. Why did this happen? It and 001 could not figure it out. Shouldn't Liemo be with her as soon as Sun Jiaoyang returned? After all, that was how the plot was. They did not understand human feelings at all. They thought that all their behavior patterns would not change. Even if something happened midway, it did not matter. 001 and Error thought, wasn't their mission to restore and maintain the original plot? Because the female antagonist, Lin, wanting to take over. However, now, it seemed that the plot had deviated more and more because of them. This was a huge blow to both 001 and Error, and they could not accept it. After all, the two of them had been first in the mission on planet Araga. What should we do now? 001 asked Error. Error also had a headache. He could only reply, otherwise if Liemo doesn't break up, you can break up with him. Just break up with him. It's all the same anyway. 001 nodded in agreement, and she also thought that Error's words made sense. As expected of the Error who had always helped her solve her problems. Before Liemo knew it, his fiancée had already planned to break up with him. And at this moment, Sun Jiaoyang looked at the couple in front of him. She could only leave unwillingly. At the very least, she could not let Liemo have a worse impression of her. She had to maintain a good image in front of him. Sun Jiaoyang did not give up. She just wanted to go back and think of a better way to take back Liemo. If 001 knew, she would definitely welcome it with open arms with Error. She might even come up with a plan. Liemo did not take Sun Jiaoyang to heart after she left. He lowered his head to look at his fiancée beside him. All right, she's gone. She's gone. Don't be sad. I won't contact her in private anymore. I'll let you know if anything happens, okay? Liemo lowered his head and kissed 001's lips, and consciously promised her. If it were any other girl, he would be such a good boyfriend. There was no need for girls to emphasize anything to him. However, for 001 and 22, this made them even more depressed, and they began to feel a heavy burden on their shoulders. 001 and Error almost hugged each other and shivered. They felt that the hope of completing their mission was getting slimmer and slimmer. However, in the end, 001 and Error would not give up, so she was ready to break up with Liemo. However, Error stopped her. Hey, wait, have you forgotten the weakness of males on Earth? How could he be so inconsiderate? What if Liemo takes things too hard and commits suicide? Error's words knocked on 001's head and woke her up. She readily admitted her mistake. You're right. It's all my fault. I didn't think it through. Then I'll go back and send him a message. That should make him feel better. 001 thought that if she didn't say it to Liemo's face and left him some face, there shouldn't be anything wrong. Obviously, Error agreed. 001's obedient appearance and pure face made Liemo's heart itch. He endured it, but he still couldn't. She was already his legitimate fiancée. Why did he have to endure it? Therefore, Liemo hugged 001 tightly into his arms and began to kiss her eagerly. He seemed to be extremely hungry and thirsty. He sucked 001's lips heavily and let out a loud kiss. 001's tongue trembled and he couldn't wait to swallow the saliva in her mouth. 001 thought that if she broke up with him in the future, she wouldn't be able to have such intimate behavior. To be honest, 001 liked it very much, so she wanted to enjoy it for the last time. 001 reached out and hugged Liemo tightly. She also took the initiative to put her tongue into his mouth and kissed him back. 001's enthusiastic response made Liemo ecstatic. He was so excited that he couldn't control himself. He couldn't wait to crush 001 and put her into his body so that they could be closely intertwined. Therefore, Liemo picked 001 up, rubbed her unconsciously and pushed her aside. They kissed 001 for a long time until their mouths began to be red and swollen and painful, but Liemo was still reluctant to let her go. Liemo's eyes were misty, and he was suppressing his lust. He looked extremely alluring. He released 001's delicate and beautiful mouth while panting. There were still silver threads sticking on their lips. It was very obscene. Liemo was still holding 001 tightly and was reluctant to leave her. He kept lowering his head and kissing her lips. He took his hands out of 001's clothes and tidied them up for her, but he buried his face in her neck while panting heavily. 11 I really want to F***CKU, Liemo said as he rubbed 001's head. However, Liemo realized that there were too many things that had happened today, especially when his ex-girlfriend was involved. If he still wanted to sleep with Lin Wanting at this time, it would be too inconsiderate of her. Therefore, Liemo sent 001 back, gently rubbed her head and said, "Don't think too much. You can tell me anything." Liemo's words made 001's eyes light up. Does that mean that I can break up with him? Error also thought that it was feasible. After all, the holiday didn't last long. Liemo and 001 soon returned to the university, but Sun Jiayang also went through the admission procedures in this university. It was not difficult for her. It seemed that she had made up her mind to fight for a long time. The relationship between Lin Wanting and Liemo had no binding force on Sun Jiayang. Liemo was originally her. It was Lin Wanting who succeeded after she went abroad. She just took back her original boyfriend. How could she be regarded as a mistress? Not long after returning to the university, 001 felt that the time was right when she was in the dormitory, so she sent a text message to Liemo, "Let's break up." 001 didn't say anything superfluous. Of course she wouldn't say it. It was just a few simple words, clear and clear. However, Liemo, who received the text message, opened his eyes wide in disbelief. He knew every word, but why didn't he know what they meant when they were put together? Because he and Lin Wanting were fine. Why did she suddenly send such a text message to him? It was simply inexplicable. Was she joking with him? However, he would never accept such a joke. Liemo was burning with anxiety. His mind was in a mess and he guessed randomly. However, he immediately went to find 001. He wanted to let her know what kind of things couldn't be joked about. Therefore, it didn't take long for 001 to receive a call from Liemo. Just like the previous time, he directly ordered her, "Come down." The aura in Liemo's words was very terrible, as if they had been transmitted through the phone. However, 001, who had just sent a message to Liemo to break up, was not conscious at all. She didn't feel afraid at all. I just remembered that Sun Jiayang also sent a message to break up with Liemo, and then she went abroad inexplicably. Is it good for us to do this? After Error's reminder, 001 realized that she had made another mistake. No wonder Liamo was so angry. 001 was very frustrated. She was really a clumsy novice in love. She always made mistakes. She was not like a respectable general on planet Araga at all. Liamo seemed to have fallen into a strange curse. His girlfriend would always send him a message to break up with him for no reason. It seemed that he was indeed very sad. With this mentality, 001 felt that she had to admit her mistake humbly, so she should let Liamo vent his anger in front of him. Liamo was really about to explode. How could she do this? Therefore, as soon as he saw 001's figure, he didn't give her a chance to speak at all. He directly pulled her to a hidden corner under the shade of a tree. Liamo pressed 001 against the wall fiercely. Under the cover of the tree, no one could see what he was doing, so he began to punish 001. 001's underwear was pushed up. Liamo buried his head down and gnawed hard. His other hand reached into her underwear and stirred vigorously. "Tell me, will you still do this in the future?" Liamo's eyes were scarlet and his voice was hoarse. He looked at 001 dangerously and asked. Liamo deliberately tortured her like this to question 001. After all, he was very familiar with her reaction and was very sensitive. Liamo's sense of oppression was very strong, but 001 didn't feel anything. She just felt that it was a pity that Liamo didn't finish it every time. Liamo had become familiar with this body from being unfamiliar with it these days. He coaxed her to kiss and touch every part of her body. 001 was tormented by lust and lust. She couldn't help but twist her body, which made Liamo suck in a breath of cold air. A drop of sweat dripped from his forehead, and his eyes were more forbearing. He looked at 001 and gnashed his teeth. "Well, I want more." What 001 said was true. Of course, she would break up with Liamo in the future. She was so honest. However, in this special situation, it was difficult for the sentence 001 not to be interpreted by Liamo with other ambiguous meanings. He couldn't help but lower his head and bite 001, leaving a red mark on her body. His own mark was on 001's body, which made Liamo in a good mood, and his physical and psychological impulses also eased a little. Liamo forcefully fiddled with it a few times before hurriedly ending it and tidying up 001. He lovingly stroked her flushed face with a doting expression, as if he didn't know what to do with her. Liamo sighed and said, "I have nothing to do with Sun Jiaoyang. You don't have to care about her. I just want to be with you." Liamo's words were so clear to 001. He thought about it. Lin Wanting sent such a text message after Sun Jiaoyang came back, so it should be because of her. Even if Liamo didn't like to say such sweet words and repeatedly express his feelings, he could only emphasize it to her over and over again for the sake of 001's heart. It was undoubtedly annoying that his girlfriend didn't trust him, doubted him, and asked him to explain to her over and over again. However, Liamo didn't feel this way in his heart. He was only full of love and helplessness. This was really a sweet annoyance for him. Alas, how could he make his Wan believe that there was really no other woman in his heart except for her? However, Liamo only emphasized over and over again solemnly. For 001 it was undoubtedly a devastating blow. She almost couldn't control the expression on her face and lost her composure in front of Liamo. Chapter 24. 001 and Error were getting more and more desperate, but 001 still had to force a smile at Liamo. Liamo's determination not to break up was the same as 001's determination to break up. 001 and Error both felt that they had overreached themselves. No, they had to break up successfully. On the other hand, Sun Jiaoyang became their junior sister and began to openly pursue Liamo. Because in this university, ever since the beginning of the semester, everyone knew that Lin Wanting had a crush on Liamo. Later on they finally got together and the others were also happy to see it happen. Not to mention that in their opinion, Liamo and 001 were constantly showing off their affection. They were really a loving couple. But at this time, Sun Jiaoyang suddenly appeared, so the others despised her as a shameless mistress. She clearly knew how good Liamo and Lin Wanting were, but she still wanted to steal him. However, Sun Jiaoyang was very confident. She didn't feel guilty at all. She announced loudly to the others, "I'm Liamo's girlfriend. I just went abroad because I lost my temper with him, but I didn't expect that when I came back, Lin Wanting would actually become her girlfriend." Sun Jiaoyang didn't deliberately pretend to be a white lotus or deliberately mislead others, but in her heart she really thought so. In this university, There were also many people who were classmates with Sun Jiayoung. They knew about the matter between Liu Mo and her. But later, Sun Jiayoung went abroad. They all thought that Liu Mo had broken up with her. However, in fact, no one knew whether Sun Jiayoung and Liu Mo had broken up or not. Liu Mo didn't get close to anyone, and he wouldn't make this kind of thing known to everyone. Moreover, at that time, in Liu Mo's opinion, the breakup text message was simply inexplicable. He didn't admit it. He wanted to ask Sun Jiayoung, but he couldn't get through to her. Later, Liu Mo gave up. At this time, when they heard Sun Jiayoung's affirmative words, they began to waver. After all, they didn't know the truth. Although in their opinion, whether it was Liu Mo or Lin Wanting, they didn't seem to be that kind of person. After getting the confirmation of Sun Jiayoung and Liu Mo's high school classmates, the news that Liu Mo had indeed dated Sun Jiayoung before made the direction of the university slowly change. Some people stood on Liu Mo and Lin Wanting's side, thinking that their ex-girlfriend was unwilling to be jealous of them and was deliberately causing trouble. However, some people tended to think that Sun Jiayoung was the victim. She was far away abroad, and her boyfriend was taken advantage of by a mistress. The outsiders quarreled fiercely, but the three people involved did not do so. Liu Mo didn't pay attention to these things. After all, no one made trouble in front of him. However, he paid attention to Lin Wanting all the time, so he knew everything related to her. Naturally, Liu Mo wouldn't let others slander Lin Wanting's reputation. He planned to find Sun Jiayoung to solve this matter thoroughly. Sun Jiayoung was enthusiastic, lively, and persistent, but she also had the temper of a spoiled girl and the princess syndrome. It was just that at the beginning, it was not obvious under the cover of her advantages. Even compared with her advantages, this little temper made her more real and cute, which made people tolerate her. But obviously, Liu Mo was not her boyfriend now, and he didn't intend to tolerate her. However, Liu Mo didn't expect that before he went to find Sun Jiayoung, he would get the breakup declaration from 001 again. Why? Looking at Lin Wanting standing in front of him and saying this sentence seriously, Liu Mo said with difficulty. The uneasy feeling in his heart came true. Last time Lin Wanting was not joking, nor was it impulsive. He just deliberately ignored it. Because he didn't want to believe it and he didn't want to believe it. In front of her he lost his sharpness. But at this time, Lin Wanting's seriousness made Liu Mo unable to ignore it anymore. Obviously she and I are very close. Why does Lin Wanting have this kind of idea again and again? What Liu Mo said made 001 confused again. Wasn't there only two answers to this kind of thing? Yes or no? Don't be stunned. Liu Mo is waiting for your answer. Just make up a random reason for him to give up. 001 replied cleverly, because I think you and Sun Jiayoung are the most suitable. I don't want to be the third party. 001 thought her words were perfect, but it made Liu Mo's eyes soften. He took a step forward, gently took 001 into his arms, and lowered his head to kiss her hair. Silly girl, the thing between me and her has never had anything to do with you. Before Sun Jiayoung went abroad, he had already sent me a text message to break up. You are not the third party. Lin Wanting was a person with a strong sense of morality. Liu Mo thought that she really believed Sun Jiayoung's words and felt guilty for it, which naturally made him feel sorry for her. 001. This is different from what we said. 001 could no longer hide her stiff body. Both she and Era could only keep a straight face. Sure enough, they didn't have enough experience and didn't understand the brain circuits of men on the earth, which was why they failed again and again. In order to learn from this lesson, 001 and Era went back and found a book on breaking up. Although 001 didn't know that the excuses in this book were commonly used by scumbags. I'm sorry, Liu Mo. You are very good, but we are not suitable for each other. You deserve better, 001 said sincerely to Liu Mo. Liu Mo thought that 001 was affected by the campus rumors and wanted to break up again. Although Liu Mo was angry that 001 had no confidence in their relationship and was easily shaken, he didn't want to let go. Therefore he said to 001, no matter how good others are, it has nothing to do with me. I only want you. These were very touching words that made people blush, but 001 was dead. 001 continued, Liu Mo, I'm tired. I don't have any feelings for you anymore. Let's part ways and live happily ever after. Liu Mo didn't know why Lin Wanting suddenly wanted to break up with him, but he would never let go. Therefore he approached 001, held her wrist hard and said gloomily, you used to have feelings for me, but now you are just tired. I will make you fall in love with me again. Probably because of her guilty conscience, 001 was really shocked. although she didn't know why she felt this way. But 001 understood that she and Era were killed again. Then 001 still didn't give up. She told all kinds of excuses to Liamo. Liamo also understood at this time that he couldn't deceive himself anymore. The feeling that he felt when he was with Lin Wanting was real. However, Liamo would not give up. After 001 finished speaking, he was very quiet this time. After all, he had been broken up by his beloved girlfriend so many times, and he had a certain psychological endurance. 001 looked at Liamo's reaction expectantly, waiting for him to nod. However, for the first time, Liamo showed his vulnerability in front of 001. He looked at 001 with a sad look in his eyes. He held her hand and said softly, "Wanwan, can you not do this? I will be sad too. I can't stand it." Facing Liamo in such a state, his drooping brows were filled with a heartbreaking desolation. His sparkling eyes had also dimmed, and it was as if his entire being had lost some sort of vitality. This made 001's throat feel as if it was blocked and he could no longer speak. However, Liamo took 001's silence as consent. He gently reached out and hugged her. Liamo closed his eyes and carefully held the treasure in his arms. His face was full of satisfaction and relief. 001 was stunned in Liamo's arms. Although she was in a trance, she did not give up her task. Liamo, who should have found Sun Jiaoyang and solved the problem, put it aside because of 001's seemingly unreasonable breakup. After he thought that he and Lin Wanting had calmed down, Liamo went to see Sun Jiaoyang. Naturally, Sun Jiaoyang was very surprised that Liamo came to see her. "Liamo, you are here. Yes, you are always punctual. I've ordered your favorite coffee, no sugar. Try it." In order to pursue Liamo, Sun Jiaoyang had spent a lot of effort. How could she not know some of his preferences and habits? When she was with him, she also had a lot of good memories. Sun Jiaoyang wanted Liamo to remember them. However, Liamo did not reminisce and be reluctant to part with them as she had imagined. If he had someone else in his heart and was still reluctant to part with them, no matter who it was a kind of disrespect. Thus, Liamo could only sigh in disappointment and frustration as he said to Sun Jiaoyang, "Jiaoyang, I've never regretted my choice, nor will I deny our past. But you should know that it was you who broke up with me. It had nothing to do with Lin Wanting." Sun Jiaoyang was also a smart girl. She understood the meaning of Liamo's words as soon as she heard it. So, he had come to find her because of the unfavorable rumors about Lin Wanting on campus? Ah. This made Sun Jiaoyang sneer. Liamo really put in a lot of effort for her. Don't you know that girls have small tempers? You agreed just because I said it, and you even found your next boyfriend so quickly? No matter how she thought about it, this made Sun Jiaoyang very angry. She felt that he had let her down and betrayed her feelings. Liamo sighed again. He really did not want to talk about this with Sun Jiaoyang. Moreover, why did she not understand? Thus, Liamo's expression became cold once again. He didn't want to waste any more words with Sun Jiaoyang. "Miss Sun, I only hope that you will not disturb our lives in the future." Liamo's words were very heartless. To Sun Jiaoyang it made her heart ache. Chapter 25. Therefore. Sun Jiaoyang was still noble, bright, and inviolable. She wanted to maintain her pride and dignity as a young miss. She sneered at Liamo and said, "Sure, I have a welcome party this Saturday. As long as you bring Lin Wanting to attend, I'll let you guys go." Sun Jiaoyang clearly said this to Liamo. She didn't need to worry about anything now. Even though Liamo knew that this must be a trap, he still agreed. There had to be a solution to the matter. After Liamo went back, he told Lin Wanting about the matter. If she didn't agree, it was fine if they didn't go. 001's eyes lit up. She looked at Liamo and said, "Okay, let's go." 001 felt that this might be a good opportunity to break up with Liamo. After all, Sun Jiaoyang had never given up on him. Liamo looked at 001, his brows furrowed slightly, but he didn't say anything, he just hugged her silently. That day, Liamo brought 001 to attend on time. 001 didn't have any preparations to meet her love rival, so she was still dressed as usual. Lin Wanting's dressing was elegant and graceful, like a young lady who had walked out of a painting of a lady. This kind of temperament was special, it made her very eye-catching, but going to a place like KTV was out of place. When Liamo brought 001 over, the boys all felt that Lin Wanting had an indescribable sense of beauty, which made their gazes involuntarily linger. However, in this kind of place no one went to play with Lin Wanting. It was obvious that she was not from the same country as them. With such a girl here, how could they enjoy themselves to the fullest? The eyes of the others clearly revealed this meaning, unless there was a boy with ill intentions who wanted to hit on Lin Wanting. Li Mo's face became unhappy. He turned sideways and gently blocked 001. Others, especially the way the boys looked at her, were really annoying. Li Mo knew that Sun Jiayang had an ulterior motive. By bringing Lin Wanting here, he had attracted the attention of those rich playboys. Even without Sun Jiayang messing things up, their lives would still not be peaceful. Sun Jiayang couldn't help but curl his lips when he saw this. Looking at Li Mo's furious eyes, she smiled even more happily. She didn't think that she had done anything wrong. She even thought that she was testing the true feelings between Li Mo and Lin Wanting. She felt that Li Mo should thank her properly. After all, she was helping them to test whether their feelings could withstand these sugar-coated bullets. Under the pursuit of these rich and handsome boys, could Lin Wanting still maintain her original intention? Li Mo understood Sun Jiayang's intention, but he believed in Lin Wanting. Sun Jiayang was not a person who liked to play tricks. She didn't like them. She always used open and above-board schemes. She thought so. 001 didn't have those feelings. In her eyes, the eyes of the people on Earth were the same. She didn't feel anything when they fell on her. She saw Sun Jiayang sitting far away from Li Mo, and Li Mo pulling her to sit beside him. 001 was a little anxious. It seemed to be different from what she had imagined. Sun Jiayang just greeted others warmly and didn't take the initiative to do anything. On the contrary, those friends of Sun Jiayang were all warmly greeting Lin Wanting. Sun Jiayang's female friends all knew that Li Mo was her unforgettable ex-boyfriend. They wouldn't be so stupid to flirt with her, so they would naturally find trouble with 001. After all, this was her rival in love, the person who had taken her ex-boyfriend away. Moreover, they had to admit that Sun Jiayang's ex-boyfriend was not blind. Lin Wanting and Sun Jiayang were beauties of different styles. Some people liked the gorgeous peony while others liked the elegant Mulan. They also wanted to say that Lin Wanting was petty and a white lotus that couldn't be shown in public. However, she was not like that at all. On the contrary, she was very scholarly, and looked like she was from the same country as Li Mo. Even so, didn't men nowadays not find the same type of girl? Look, a girl like Lin Wanting was very attractive to rich playboys who liked to be noisy in the downtown area. A girl like Sun Jiayang should also be very attractive to a self-restrained and polite scholar like Li Mo. It was not appropriate for Li Mo to intervene in the girl's conversation. Moreover, he had to help 001 fend off a group of lascivious men and stop other men from courting her. However, 001 didn't hear the malice in those girls' words at all. She just said what she wanted to say. Yang, this is the first time that she likes a boy so much. Although she is spoiled, she is not a bad person. Moreover, she lost her mother when she was a child. If Yang does anything impolite, please forgive her. After all, you look like a well-educated and reasonable person. Don't argue with Yang. Yes, in all these years we have only seen her so persistent with Li Mo. If Yang does something bad, it must be because she likes Li Mo too much. You don't know how happy they were when they were together. They were like a golden couple. Those girls seemed to treat 001 as a good friend, confiding in her and whispering to her. If 001 were a female on Earth, she would probably be heartbroken by these words that poked at her lungs. These girls were making fun of 001, and their words were full of traps, which made people feel aggrieved. After all, in their opinion, a well-educated girl like Lin Wanting would definitely not make a scene. They could only hold it in and feel sad. However, 001 blinked her eyes and smiled. Since she is so sad, why don't you help her get back together with Li Mo? As soon as 001 said this, the girls became quiet. They looked at her in disbelief as if they were looking at an alien. Although 001 was indeed an alien, she looked at them in confusion. She didn't understand why it was like this. She was really giving them a sincere suggestion. The problem was that they could see that 001 was sincere and not sarcastic. That was why they thought she was crazy. What did you say? You want to help Li Mo and Yang? One of the girls asked tentatively. Li Mo had been paying attention to 001, so he heard what she said to the girls. This made Li Mo's eyes dim. He held the wine glass so tightly that it seemed like he could crush it. But 001 didn't notice it at all. She continued, yes, didn't you say that Sun Jiayang is very sad? In that case, let Li Mo be with her again. Won't it be better? Then what about you? Aren't you Li Mo's girlfriend now? The girls asked in a trance. It was probably the first time they had encountered such a situation. The current girlfriend took the initiative to matchmake her boyfriend with his ex-girlfriend. Could it be that their combat power was already this strong? Lin Wanting retreated in the face of difficulties. It was so smooth that it scared them. Meh. 001 blinked her eyes in confusion. I was going to break up with him anyway. The girls were speechless. Their feelings became complicated. What was going on with this feeling of picking up someone else's leftover and abandonment? Could it be that the one Sun Jiaoyang longed for was the one that Lin Wanting didn't want for a long time? But looking at Sun Jiaoyang, they thought that it was Lin Wanting who wouldn't let go of the man. Li Mo's face suddenly became gloomy. He couldn't help but get up and walk toward 001. He directly pulled her up and walked out with her. Li Mo felt that he couldn't deceive himself anymore. No matter what the reason was, Lin Wanting's actions weren't because she liked him. She hadn't given up the idea of breaking up with him. She really didn't want to be with him anymore. 001 was puzzled by Li Mo's actions. Why did he pull her out for no reason? Moreover, Li Mo used a lot of strength. Although he was careful not to hurt 001, his anger at this time was really scary. 001 felt that Li Mo had been very strange recently. His emotions had become very inexplicable again. Li Mo pulled 001 into the men's room and locked the door so that no one else could come in. Li Mo pressed 001 against the wall and pressed his body tightly against her. What did you mean by what you said to them? Li Mo approached 001. When he spoke, his breath sprayed on her face, and his lips touched her inadvertently. This made 001 feel very uncomfortable. She couldn't help but want to avoid it. However, 001's dodging at this time stimulated Li Mo, who was extremely sensitive, making him feel that the tendons in his brain were about to break. He reached out and held 001's delicate and small chin so that she couldn't move her face anymore. She could only look at him and only his figure could be seen in her eyes. 001 blinked her eyes innocently and said, I mean that you can be with Sun Jiaoyang. I know you like her very much. It seemed that Li Mo's feelings for 001 had been completely blocked by her before. In her mind, there was a deep-rooted idea that Li Mo liked Sun Jiaoyang and that he should be with her. Li Mo was extremely frustrated, and his heart was even more angry. He was so angry that he laughed. Well, what do you think I am? Li Mo didn't expect that one day he would be able to ask such a question. It was really bad. But at this time, Li Mo didn't care so much at all. He stared at 001, waiting for her to give him an answer. Looking at Li Mo's red eyes at this time, 001 still didn't understand why he had such a big reaction. I think you are Li Mo. Even at such a moment, her face was still simple and gentle, and her tone was soft. Her whole person was as beautiful as a peaceful picture. This made Li Mo's heart suddenly hurt. He blocked 001's lips fiercely, so that she could no longer say those sad words. Li Mo closed his eyes. He didn't want to see 001's innocent but annoying look. He didn't want to think so much. He didn't want to think about whether she liked him or not. After all, he didn't want to let go and wanted to be with her. No matter whether Lin Wanting liked her or not, she could only be with him in this life. She could only belong to him. Moreover, since he hated her calm look, he would let her be addicted to him. Only he could make her show those attractive looks. Li Mo's breathing became rapid. He kissed 001 eagerly and passionately, picked her up and put her down on the sink. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.